Good morning and welcome to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, your home of your classic games, classic content, classic debates. This is the coffee morning, so good morning to everyone. Hope you're all well. With me this morning, I'm with the two usual co-hosts, now co-hosts, didn't do an ease, it's a host, sorry. Is my YouTube co-host, the man below is the man who's always there. He does the best coffee in London, with Mr. Ben Coffee Tottenham. How are you this morning, Ben?
Still a bit fatigued and still a bit dejected after 2 nights ago, but we got to get through the rest of the week. It's very possible the game won't go ahead, so maybe we're not going to be miserable this weekend.
Yes, that is a rumour I'm hearing. Actually, the game might not go ahead, so we'll get into that more in a minute. And my usual co-host is with me on every stream, either it's morning, evening, or even late at night. He's always there. He's Mr. Dependable. He's the one club man. He is our one and only Mr. Coover 99. How are you, Coover?
Doing well this morning. Same as Ben, really. Still a bit deflated from Wednesday, but on we go.
On we go is right. Final thoughts on that game on Wednesday? Just so we can put that to bed, basically.
Rubbish.
Disposable. Memory wipe. That'll be good. Anything like that. No positives to take out of it at all. Nothing.
No, I don't think there was there?
Oh no, wait, there was one. Ndombele wasn't there. That's it.
Yeah, true. That we use that as a debate. So well done. Hang on, just let me set the camera up. Okay, shall we get through some of these comments, Cove? There's a few people waiting.
Shamu joining us. Good of you again to spend some time on the channel. Spend that money, Levy. We have the best manager or one of the best in the world, and you're dilly-dallying around when you know he wants players that he could be using this time to bed them into the squad. Yeah, sooner the better. Doesn't look like it's going to happen though, does it? We might get a Dame Traore in, but it doesn't look like much else. Next comment, Dermot, or
just want to ask Ben what's Ben think of that comment.
I mean, they've got to do it eventually. I mean, as much as we want to spend in January, it is very difficult to buy in January unless you're like screwing over your current teams, like Newcastle have done with Burnley. They're taking their strikers, and it is very difficult to get players out of teams. So the rebuild is in the summer for Mr. Conte. So if we can get a few in, that's brilliant, and maybe a few pre-contracts, but it is very, very difficult in January unless you spend ridiculous money like Newcastle are doing because they're panicking.
Right, well, that's something we'll come back to. We'll just get this here. There's another one here for Shamu.
Shamu saying, instead of wasting time with a cinema and a Tottenham Hotspur real estate, I thought we were a football team. So did we all.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this, won't we? It's a big talking point.
Very, very briefly, when Enoch bought the club, we died as a football club, and it has been RIP Tottenham Hotspur for a very long time.
Ryan McFarlane, good of you to join us, mate. Keith
morning.
Birkinshaw said it best. Used to be a football club over there. Yeah. He did. Yeah,
Absolutely spot on. I mean, that's our comment of today so far. I'm going to have to give that. You can't put it better than that, really, can you? There used to be a football club.
Yeah.
Well, not a football club or a franchise. We're everything but a football club.
No, we're just tenants of Enoch.
Yeah.
Derek Hutchinson, good morning.
Good morning, Derek. Thank you for joining us.
Carl saying, good morning, gents. Hope you're all well.
Good morning, Carl.
Derek saying, Arsenal cheating bar stewards. Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one.
What would be funny for a change is see them have to go through it and then get forced to play if they're under strength.
Yeah.
Be nice. Richard Robert, morning, mate. He's saying, good morning, lads.
Good morning, Chris.
Celery Agent. I haven't seen you a couple of days, have we? Celery Agent. Good day, lads. Good of you to
Good day, Celery Agent. Hope you're all well.
And Paul Brown, good morning, mate. And he's saying good morning to us and all in the chat as well. And Hollywood Phil, can't have morning without Hollywood Phil and the
Good
crappy
morning,
joke.
Phil.
I met the inventor of the window last night. What a
Windowsill.
Windowsill last night, of course. What a ledge.
It's a very decent one.
It's like Christmas crackers, isn't it?
It is. I think that's where he's getting them from, actually. He's opening Christmas crackers himself and getting them from there. Well, big up, Phil. You're a legend, man. We'll see you later. Well, Sally Ragent found it funny.
It's still Christmas cracker stuff, though.
Yeah.
Guguma, good of you to join us, Guguma. Always a pleasure. And saying good.
The Empress of the Tottenham Tantrum army is in.
And everybody replied to Guguma. Everybody's always pleased to see Guguma.
Yeah.
Shamu saying I'm only asking for two or three max, just players coming in, mate. Yeah.
You'd be lucky if we get one.
Two or three would make a heck of a difference. It just refreshes the squad. We need some sort of spark from somewhere, don't we?
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get it, though.
Cole Simpson saying, Dybala, come on, lads. Apparently we're talking with Juventus and he is unhappy. And he just brought out his commercial rights. Which caused that issue last time. That's an interesting one. It does make it more viable, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think he will come. From hearing Paratici, he's eager to get that deal over the line. So that could be a sign in this January. He might not wait till summer. He might come this January.
I really hope so. Look, I mean, that is a player I will be excited for. He is world class footballer. Him and Kane up top together would be better than Kane and Son. Those two will work so well together.
Do you still want Vlahovic though to come too?
Yes, I want all three of them.
That'd be nice.
I actually bought Vlahovic on my FIFA 22 team on the Xbox last night. Do you know, it was quite easy. You offered money to a club, they accepted it, you do the contract, and he comes to your team. Mr. Levy.
It's weird how that happens, isn't it?
It is.
You actually offer a club money they want for a player. And
yeah.
You get them.
Well, I actually got for about 10. I got for about, it was up for sale for about 90 million. I got for 75.
Bargain.
Get Dermot in charge of transfers then. Levy, you know who to call.
Gogumod saying hello to
good morning. Yeah.
I love all the little flourishes Guguma puts in the chat.
I do actually. They're really good.
Cole Simpson, I like being go deluded. Sorry,
I think he meant I like being so deluded on
a Friday morning. Yeah. My eyes are still waking up. I have trouble reading things in the morning, I think.
No, it actually says what it actually says is I like to give you Adele's number, but Phil's not here, so I'll keep it for myself.
Yeah.
Okay, good man. Phil, if you're watching, good morning.
Just talking amongst themselves, saying hello.
Mark Cousins is in the building. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark. It says, morning, lads. Hope all's good. Have we signed anyone? Yeah, that's the
thing for every we have signed a dog. We've signed a dog and a cat this morning. That's who we've signed.
I'll take a dog and a cat.
If we signed a dog, it'll be on a leash deal.
Yeah. What happens if you sold a cat? Be a bit meow.
Cats do their own thing anyway. Should we say, and I told Truth Set 3 that TTG is live.
Thank you very much, Shimmy. Hit that bell. If you hit that bell, they get notifications will come along. So everyone, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Carl's Guguma saying hello to Carl.
Yeah.
Paul Brown, still attempting to get my head around Markande situation. Kyle Walker-Peters saga yet again. Guess he's not in Conte's plans. Looks that way. I mean, I did note, though, that there's supposed to be quite a hefty sell-on clause in his contract, so perhaps that's why I'm Levy sort of safeguard in the future with him. Could be the case. Maybe we'll have a buyback clause as well.
That's what I hope.
Yeah. Seems silly to get all the youth, the academy players to this sort of level and then just sell them off on the cheap, doesn't it?
Sorry, I was just reading an email from my source of mine, so I will tell you that in a minute.
Do you want me to do the comments then?
No, you're fine. No, it's okay. I've just replied to him. I'm waiting for him to get a reply.
Yeah, done this one.
Yeah, okay, so they're all talking to each other.
Mr. K, good morning, mate.
Good morning, Mr. K.
Saying, hi, guys, fresh coffee.
Do you know what? I love watching that man. He is so, he's like watching, you could be really peed off. Mr. K comes on, and he's like, he puts you in a good mood straight away.
Yeah, he does.
He's
velvety
smooth, yeah.
He is. He's like the Des O'Connor of the Spurs YouTube world. He's just got that voice you love to listen to.
I wouldn't have picked Des O'Connor, but I know what you're getting at. Yeah.
Des O'Connor wasn't a good singer, but he was a great TV presenter.
We'll leave it as
Don't you remember Take Your Pick?
I do remember Des O'Connor. I'm just saying.
It was very good with Morecambe and Wise. That they were funny when they did.
Yeah,
that.
they were always.
I must admit, maybe Des O'Connor's not K. I can't think of anybody else, Mr. K. I don't know, Tony Blackburn, somebody like that, like from Top of the Pops. That, yeah. I'm digging that hole here. I'm just getting very deep.
Mr. K's one of a kind.
Yeah, but he's great to listen to. He's a proper gentleman, and I love him dearly. It's a good morning, Mr. K.
Absolutely.
And I've just dug my hole to Australia.
Philip Brady saying big mistake selling Makonde. I agree with that.
Yeah, big up Philip, the godfather of all the Harris Army and the TTG Army. What a man.
And celery agent. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right. No, sorry. We're going on. K-Mang. Is that no, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Mr. K, double OK.
Yeah. He's like the James Bond. I think he's trying to say he's calling him the James Bond of the Spurs community.
I really need to wake up. I feel like I'm missing half of the what's being said here.
He'll come on to this. Here he goes. My name is K. Mr. K.
Yeah. Philip Brady saying Dabala, get him there. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Need something big as well, because the squad, the manager, director of football, all looking deflated at the moment. Mr. K said, smash a like, everyone. Every little helps. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you.
And what else did I need to do as well? Share. Sharing is caring.
And subscribe, of course.
And hit that like. And what did they need to do as well, Ben? Hit that bell, don't they?
Yeah, ring that notification bell.
Yeah.
Ring the hell's bell.
Good game. We're talking to Mr. K.
Yeah.
And celery agent saying Mr. Tottenham was on this channel.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, he really was. He was. And what a gentleman. What an absolute gentleman. I mean, a week ago, we were nervous, weren't we? Thinking, oh, God, this one would be like, but absolute, what a gentleman.
I just like the way he starts off, and instantly he's a Spurs fan first and foremost.
That man bleeds Tottenham. He really does.
Yeah, absolutely. You just hang on every word he's saying, really, don't you? Carl Simmons is saying, I'm very well, thank you to Go Guma. It's Friday weekend almost upon us. Then Guguma's just talking to people. Mr. K's asking you a question, Ben. Did you manage to get to the Chelsea game? Mr. K's asking.
Yeah, my brother's a total fucking idiot. So basically we have an...
Can I just say, he's lasted 14 minutes without swearing. That is a new record for you, Ben.
Yeah, it is. So basically, all the tickets are on iCloud. My family has a shared iCloud account because we're a bunch of idiots. And I told my brother took my mum's phone to the game, so we're going to use my mum's phone because it's got her ticket on it to get into the game. He still manages to go onto our iCloud account and deletes my ticket off my phone because we've got shared, because all the tickets are on one wallet. I told him, do not delete the ticket. He still did it anyway, just to piss me off.
So how did you get in?
So I had to scurry around the old season tickets and see if I could put one on my phone, because I couldn't put mine on there. I couldn't put my dad's on there. But eventually I got my uncle to delete his ticket off his phone and send it to me, because we have one account. My uncle goes on one of our tickets because he got rid of his season ticket years ago, but he still goes with us. So we got in eventually. It was bloody annoying. We got in. I'd rather have stayed outside.
I think your brother was doing you a favour, to be fair.
Probably.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
And Celery saying hello to me.
Mr. K, what a lovely bloke as well. Just to reinforce it.
This is the Des O'Connor thing.
Des is better than being associated with Wogan. Fair enough. I quite like Wogan, to be honest.
He was great on Eurovision. Eurovision with
Yeah.
Terry Wogan was the greatest thing ever.
Absolutely. So,
Graham Norton isn't the same. As much as I love Graham Norton doing it, it's just not the same.
You need to watch RT's version of when we do Eurovision. It's brilliant. It's so funny.
So you guys don't have Graham Norton?
No. We have our own superstars over here in this country.
Graham Norton is one of your superstars.
Yeah, but he works for the BBC. We have RTE, which is celebrating its 60th birthday this year. Actually, RTE.
Happy birthday to RTE.
Yeah. Parkinson.
For Mr. K, no, surely not.
Yeah. I just want to send you something there, Koof, in a minute there. Sorry. If you can just go through the comments, I just need to send you something.
Yep, no problem. We're at HMQ. Morning, mate. It's saying, will Arsenal be knackered for Sunday, and how should we set up to beat them? We'll come back to that one in a little bit because we're not even sure there's going to be a game at the moment.
No.
That's a difficult one to call at the moment. I'd like to know who they're likely to have playing because we could be back to nearly full strength, whereas that's
yeah.
Just reply before you go.
Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, Matt. Okay, I'll sort that out now then. Sort that out now.
Now we've got Derek saying, glad to hear that. Yes, happy for weekends. And a few following each other. Brian Daigle's here as well. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, mate.
Good morning, Brian.
Mr. Daigle.
Is he starting his jungle drums? Getting ready.
He's sharpening his pitchfork.
Mark Cousins, when is the next legend coming on? You set a precedent now with Stevie P. We are working on something.
Can I just say, I think Ben's trying to do something for us, aren't you, Benny?
I'm working very, very quietly and trying to do it. See if I can do it.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do, mate.
It's very, very difficult, but I'm going to try.
And people said hello to Brian and a few replies. Carl said, on a selfish note, all these postponements are really screwing up my fantasy football. Yeah, that's a fair enough point. Nobody thinks about people playing fantasy football, do they?
I don't even do it anymor.
Did you do HMQ?
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
He's a new one, so good morning, HMQ. Mr. K, I've just sent you that, Mr. K, in our own WhatsApp group.
Right, sorted.
Mr. K, so thanks.
A lot of people
in the chat. A lot of people in the chat this morning.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Derek saying, get Paul Gascoigne on. I would absolutely love to do that.
If we get Gaza, it's just going to be Daigle and Gaza, and they're just going to talk for hours.
The day we get Paul Gascoigne on, it's the day I want to invite Bob Spur on. I want to keep that for Bob Spur when he's out and better.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Right, we're now got coming on a legend in his own right.
It's Des O'Connor, isn't it?
It's Des O'Connor, yeah. It's the man with the silky voice. It's Des O'Connor. Good morning.
Mr. K.
Bit of a technical problem.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Even Des O'Connor has technical problems sometimes. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we've got the scum. Well, let's do celery agents first. Tommy's dream to have Gaza.
Yeah.
Got you guys. Finally. My headphones weren't working properly. Yeah. I couldn't hear anything. Good morning, guys. Good morning. How are you all?
Good morning, Mr. K. How are you?
Fantastic. Listen, I'm still smiling from the last time we went, from when the game, going to the stadium, watching them in my own eyes. Oh, my days.
Must be the only man smiling after that, just because of the experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, it was a bit of a shame that they didn't score a goal.
Yeah.
I so dearly wanted them to score a goal. And you know what? Give them kudos. They really, really tried. I mean, if you listen to Conte said, listen, there's a world of difference between our team and hold on one second, I've got something running in the background. Nope. I seem to be getting lots of noise. Maybe that's not me, is it? I hope not. Right. As I was saying, they were turning around and saying that Conte was saying that there's a gulf, like massive gulf difference between our team and their team. But it didn't matter. Our team still fought, They still tried. Useless as they were, they still tried.
The quick thing, Mr. K, I have ordered that microphone. It is on its
way. Brilliant,
yeah.
Thank you.
The thing you did for me, it only dropped into my PayPal account the other day.
Wow. Okay, I got to remember that.
It took over a month, but it has been ordered. So
you're kidding me. PayPal's like that. Well, anyway,
yeah.
Let's move on.
Move on, but it's on its way. Also, I'm looking to upgrade to a PC as well. So, and we've got somebody else coming in a minute. Once he sits down, we have the destroyer. He is the Levy destroyer on. He is the one. He is the only. He is the man that is an OBE, CBE. He is Sir. He is everything. He is the kryptonite to Superman. It's Mr. Brian Kryptonite Daigle. How are you, Brian?
I'm good, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thing I want to say is Ben is completely right. The Eurovision Song Contest, I never used to watch it, but I used to get home just for the marking, just so I could hear Tony Rogan. Cannot beat it. You're going to see me moving about to get my breakfast story. You're going to turn my camera off for the weekend, but I won't be talking with you.
Yeah, definitely sort your microphone out, Brian.
Yeah,
you sound like you're on the back end of a tunnel. I don't know, maybe you got the wrong microphone set up. Just go to cam and mic set up and then just make sure you got the right... One thing, a lot of us don't realize when we come onto the stream sometimes, right, yeah? The image that we see from our computer, right, yeah, seems smooth, seems everything's okay. But when it actually goes into live stream, that's when it starts to affect it. But right now, your image is perfect. Everyone's video is absolutely spot on. And it just sometimes...
Can you hear me better now?
Much better. Oh my days, that's a world of difference. Of difference.
Right. Where we're starting on transfers.
Hang on. Let's just have Mr. K have his little moment in the limelight. I think. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts going into the stadium for the first time?
It's bloody big. Honestly, God, I was like, it took me quite a long time to walk around up and down the stairs and everything just to find out where I'm sitting. But that was all part of the experience. And when you get there, it's like, wow, you can see everything. You can see the formation of the team. And one of the things that impressed me the most was the way that the team was drilled in how it moved around. Mm-hmm. Right? It's so much more organized. There is definitely a Conte effect because that definitely wasn't happening under Nuno.
No,
so I think the drilling that Conte has been doing onto the players, has really brought their level up just a touch. And when Conte said, "Listen, I'm going to have to. I've got no choice but to improve the quality of the team to bring up the whole level of the the overall playing performance." I think he's doing a bang on job. Regardless of his, shadowing eyes and he can't, it looks like he hasn't slept or anything like that. But apart from that, he's doing a bang up job just from seeing that alone. I think we're missing some really nice, we're missing some technical players in the midfield that can hold the ball and not afraid to let go of it because they're technically able to move around and twist around other people. We don't have those type of players to play those type of passes. And secondly, there's an element missing inside the team, probably due to regular play and the fact that we don't have two people in every position, where you don't... Normally in football, you got little pockets where you got two people playing with each other on a regular basis, and you get these little pairs up and down the team. And sometimes it's in threes, you got three-way triangles and so on. And I think once Conte starts to bring people in, that will start to form those little partnerships. The only problem is it's not going to come anytime soon. If he doesn't, he's only going to, at maximum, he's going to get like one or two players this January, which might be enough to keep us in the top six. Because obviously, as we go through the season, there's going to be a fall down where people are going to start to get injured and so on, or their form's going to drop. So we're going to need that extra little bit of fresh blood. That's only going to get us in the top six, not necessarily top four. But come summertime, we'll hopefully, if Conte can get a few more players in, then we're going to start to see the dynamic duos all over the pitch. And, you know, if only Conte stays, then next season is the season we need to watch out for. This season, please, you know, I'm telling all the fans, don't put your hopes up too high. It will hurt you.
So
I totally agree with you, Mr. Kate. Absolutely. But look, I just found something here on Twitter. I know it's going back to 2018, 2019, but I think Brian might like this point, right? It was the transfer spending by the Premier League's Big Six in 2018-29. Now, I know we're in 21-22, but I just thought it was a point about Levy. Chelsea spent 210 million. Liverpool spent 182 million. Man United spent 83 million. Arsenal spent 81.5 million. Man City spent 77 million. How much do you think we spent?
We did it. We probably made money. We probably made money.
No, we spent zero. A big fat zero. And this is what's going to happen in this transfer window. We're not going to buy anyone.
I don't know if you said this, but I've also been hearing today that apparently it's now changed to we've got to buy to sell.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. That's what I've just heard about 5 minutes ago. I heard that.
So we've got, you know what, it was a great business meeting he had, isn't it? He flew to the Bahamas, all expenses paid, private jet to go get investment. And he's come back with, we need to buy to sell. Sell to buy. We need to sell to buy. That's what Conte was told. Come here, give you this in January, but what? You have to buy, sell to buy.
It's kind of like the joke I was making last night about Levy has a clause in things. You come and have all the beer you want, but you've got to buy it at the club and you've got to pay for it.
Hold on, guys. The narrative we got sold right,
yeah? You can have all the beer you want. Sorry, Miss Cage, you can have all the beer you want. You can have as much beer as you want, but we're going to have to charge you £10 for the glass. That's what we'll do. That's what Daniel Levy will do. Yeah, what can I listen? I don't know what happened. Miss Carr, I'll let you talk in 2 seconds. I don't know anything that happened last night within the community with Tottenham, because after I went nuts on We Are Tottenham TV, I was like, do you know what? I just need to stay. I've been getting so infuriated, so pissed off, so wound up on many different levels for many different reasons regarding this. It's because yesterday, I'm happy it's happened, but all of a sudden yesterday seemed to be the day, because we went out to Chelsea and because he went to everything I've been saying for 14 years. Everything I've been saying. But yesterday, it was like, oh yeah, maybe we should start protesting. I'm like, hello? Hello, we've been trying this. But listen, it is what it is. So yesterday, I literally put my phone underneath my pillow. I was like, right, have a night off. I didn't even look at my phone once. Didn't even pick up my phone to call my wife. So I'm going to get a fucking rollicking for that later on today. But hey-ho.
You love us.
What can I say, brother? What can I say? So I'm going to take my camera off whilst I'm eating.
Yeah. And have a quick smoke as well. The thing which I was going to say, guys, is weren't we sold a narrative when Conte came in that he would have sat down with Levy and there would have been assurances on the table that there would have been a pot of money for him to go and get players? Was that a gentleman's agreement?
At the end of the rainbow, Conte's just got to find it.
Look, if it was in the contract, we wouldn't do anything about it. But this seems like a verbal agreement.
Yeah, we all know about Levy's verbal agreement.
But this is my point. We cannot continue to keep giving that guy a buy. about verbal agreements. We've been sold in the summer, right? Yeah, this narrative that if somebody does a verbal agreement with somebody, then they're an absolute idiot. But then at the same time, we get told that these professional players are role models to young people. And if they're role models, that means their word should count for something. So now all of a sudden we get told one thing, that they're role models, and on the other hand we say, no, they're not, they're just commodities. You know, buy and sell. They're like sheep. We can just buy and sell them and treat them how we like. And then that narrative feeds into the fans, who then go on Twitter and then start treating these players if they're not human beings anymore. And that dehumanizing effect causes people to start arguing and fighting with each other, while Levy's out there getting a suntan. And when he comes back, guess what? He just got a new property deal. That's what got announced this week. A new property deal. So the investment is coming through. It's obviously not for the bloody players. It's for his big fat pocket and livestock. But anyway, I didn't come on to do a Levy rant, honestly, because I'm still smiling inside.
I was going to say, please do.
Continue, Mr. K. It's brilliant. It's what this channel is about.
Mr. K, one thing I will say to you about the development is something Alex Samuel said on We Are Tottenham TV, and it is right. That development had to be built. It was all part of the agreement to get the stadium built and to get the government and the councils to say, right, well, you can build on this and do this, but what are you going to do? So this had to be done at some point. But to announce it, when you've just come back from the Bahamas to get money and say we're going to spend money, but no, we're going to load a Diamond Traore. We're going to spend money on the squad. I've gone to the Bahamas for what? To get whatever it is. It was to seek some kind of funds, whether it be to build a Pizza Hut or to build a goddamn skyscraper or to build a fucking another skywalk. Who fucking knows what this guy wants?
I mean, I can add to this that the club have no say on what local councils announce. The club won't have announced this. This will be the local council announcing this. And yeah, so I'm not going to give Levy a buy here, but he doesn't have a choice of when the council announces it. Because the committee is at a set date, and after the committee they announce it. The club have no choice.
One thing I would say on that, mate. Surely the parasite could have said, "Listen, just don't do it on Wednesday night. We're playing Chelsea.
You got no choice.
Do it.
You got no choice.
Surely he can. I'm sure he can.
No choice. Otherwise, that means lobbying a political party, which is not.
Oh, wait. He's got no choice. That means Kane had no choice when Sky released their particular video before the end of last season. But we're willing to. But you know, some of the fans are willing to stab Kane for that, though.
Sky is a political business. No, Sky is not.
Yes, it is.
Sky is not. I'm getting.
Sorry, I don't mean to argue.
Can I just say something, Ben? Cleveland, should we just get the popcorn, just sit back and watch this? This is brilliant.
Sky is a private business, which means they can do whatever the hell they want because they're a private business. The local council are a political party. That's the difference. A political party sets a date for when you do. Because my dad's a local councillor, so he does loads of things like this. Not in the area of Tottenham, but you have a date where it goes to planning permission and the committee meets and they decide whether it goes ahead. That is on a set day. The club has no choice of when a local council meeting goes ahead. Otherwise, they can choose which councillors turn up on that date and they can basically choose the councillors they want. So the council meets on that day to discuss that matter, and anyone that's part of the club is not allowed to go to that meeting. So Tottenham Hotspur as a club have no choice of when a council meeting goes ahead. So it's the local council that have announced it, not Tottenham. So I don't want to give Levy a buy here because again, it's a poor day to announce it, but it's not Tottenham's fault that the committee met that day.
Yeah. I mean, there's a coincidence. I mean, don't forget at the end of the day. I mean, you're absolutely right, Ben. You know, Levy has been, chairman of this club for about 21 years. He's put an incredible £1 billion stadium and development around. He's investing in the local area. He's got no friendly tea party cocktail relationships with anybody in the council. Totally independent, all above board, everyone with integrity. Of course, we must give him a buy. I give him a buy. Why not? Obviously, look, I'd like to turn around and give that man a buy, primarily because I had a fantastic experience on the Chelsea game, and You know, even though the stadium was beautiful, and it's the people in the stadium that made it a joy. I don't know if you watched my video, but everyone was singing when I came in. There was so many people, and that joy, it kind of came into me, and I felt the energy that was coming from all the fans. That's why I always say I don't care about the management, the board, or anything. I love the fans. I love the fans first and foremost. Then comes my team, and then may come the chairman and the board, because the team is transitionary. It can move. Players can come in, they can go out. The board can come in, stuff their pockets, and leave. But the fans, they will always remain fans for the rest of their lives, and that's something I can connect with.
Yeah.
And I can, and we as fans can connect with each other, regardless of Levy. We can still have that joy and passion regarding our team, the badge, the history, and you know what? You guys do with these fantastic, episodes where you show these old matches that we've done that form the backbone of the history of our club. It's what gives our club the identity that it has right now. And while you're doing this, while you're promoting this on peanuts and your own free time, the people that everyone's given money to can't even be bothered to put one statue up of any of the greats, and they spent £1 billion. I think that's absolutely atrocious. And look, come out and give me a reason. Say to me, look, we have religious convictions. Our fan base has religious convictions, and we don't deal with statues. It's like not part of our culture in terms of our religious beliefs. I will turn around and say, okay, no problem. Or you come around and give me another excuse. So anything else, anything plausible. But the lack of transparency is absolutely amazing. We see on the one hand, we see that the chairman, a few other people which are very important, the director of football and the head coach, they sat down, they had a meeting. It was all private because, they don't exactly sit in the canteen and have their meeting, do they? They have a meeting which is private, and they talk about some very important, very delicate stuff, which is the internal mechanism of our club going forward in terms of what our strategy is and what type of players we want to bring in and who we want to let go. Those are sensitive information we don't want no one to know about. But somehow that makes it into the newspaper, word for word, comma for comma, and guess what? The titles are that everyone is really happy that there's going to be a right winger, there's going to be a midfielder, there's going to be a striker. It's all smiling. But exactly the same day, Conte comes into an interview, his face is like this. His face is like, don't ask me questions, I'm only a coach. I've given my recommendation to the club, now it's up to them. The solution's really easy. Stop asking me questions now. So the two narratives don't match each other. In the media, in the newspaper, it's all big smiles and hope, future's wonderful. And yet we see with our own eyes, this guy called Conte, who doesn't like to mince his words, who tells it as it is, he's downcast about the whole thing. He's saying, I've got no expectations. And he didn't smile and say it. He was downbeat and said it. So, I am one of those type of people that I can see with my own eyes, I can listen with my own ears, and I can make a judgment. If there's some knowledge I don't know, I'm surrounded by wonderful people who will fill me in. If there's anything I ever say that is wrong, please always correct me. Always correct me because I want to learn. I want to know from you guys, the viewers out there who have got an immense amount of knowledge. One thing I rate about this club more than anything else is our fan base, on average, has a really good intelligence. Has a really good intelligence. And with that intelligence, there's also a humility as well. And that's what I love about our fans the most. All these other things, they kind of bring me down. But that's the one thing that picks me up. So thank you, all your fans. Honestly, Tottenham till I die. Come on, you Spurs.
I was just going to say one thing on top of that, because Ben will vouch for this. Honestly, it was the first time I've ever met this great man in person. It was the very, very, very first time. And literally, when we met, we just hugged each other. And it was like, right, I'm not letting go.
Yeah.
He's not letting. We literally, for 4 minutes, we were just like that. That was the most entertaining part of the game. That was the most entertaining, honestly. And we had another one when we said goodbye, didn't we, Mr. K? It was like, bloody hell, we need to get home. The next day, he honestly,
We wouldn't let each other go. Honest to God, it kind of became a little bit weird after a while, but we didn't care.
It's kind of like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No. That's what it was. He's a great, great man. He's got such a great character, such a great aura about him. And what you see is what you get both on the camera and in person. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
You're making me blush.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I have to vouch that Mr. K is a top man. I've spoken to him privately, off air, as well as having him on our streams. He really is such. He really is what he is on screen. He really is off screen. Absolute perfect gentleman. Love listening to him. Love talking to him, and he does a great show himself every Tuesday at 11 o'clock on Will Stewart's Rants. He does it with Eugene sometimes, but he has other guests on. But please, everyone, get over to Mr. K's channel. Press your like, press your subscribe, press the notification bell, because every Tuesday evening, that man's on at 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It's a brilliant show. And I just love watching him. He's absolutely brilliant. He's a legend. He really is.
Oh my days! I'm blushing too much.
When Mr. K saw me yesterday, Mr. K saw me, he pointed at me, and he ran straight over to me and he went, "You've got the loudest voice on the planet." I was like, "Yes, I do." And then,
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I mean, Mr. K, when you speak, everybody likes to listen. That's all you got to say.
No, this guy above me, right? Yeah, honestly, he's much better than I am when it comes down to the way that he speaks and the knowledge that he presents. The only thing I've got is I've got a longer beard. That's it.
my mother keeps on making me chop my beard off. It's a real problem. I'd have a rabbi beard at this rate. I might have it.
A point you made, Mr. K, about the fans, I agree with you. Tottenham Hotspur is the fans. If there was no fans, there's no Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And the great Bill Nick said that. He said that to Steve Barrymore for the 72 UEFA Cup semi-final against AC Milan. To get them going, he said, there'll be a day when I'm not here. There'll be a day when you're not here. Managers, boards, but the fans will always be here. We're the lifeblood of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Not Levy, not I love it, us. And we need to rise up as one. We need to rise up and tell the board what we think of this man. And as for statues, I think it's a damn disgrace we don't have a statue of Bill Nick up there. We have a bust, a little bust of the great man. That man died in 2004. What did we do? A little bit of a celebration for him in the stadium. They should have been. That man was Mr. Tottenham. Him and Arthur Rowe. There should be a statue of one of each up there. Arthur Rowe was the first man to win a league title with us. Bill Nick brought it to the next level. Keith Birkinshaw brought us back up to that level. 3 people that need a statue, but Bill Nick should have one. And it's an absolute disgrace that our club don't do one. Man United do one. Have a statue of Busby up there. Liverpool have a statue of Bill Shankly. Leeds have one of blooming Billy Bremer, I think, outside their ground.
Yeah, they do.
Man United have Charlton, Best and Law. Newcastle have one of Alan Frecken Shearer. And there's one of Bobby Robson up there. Why can't we, as a club, have one of our greatest managers? What? Because it was in the past? Just because there isn't one of Levy? Bill Nicholson was Tottenham. Bill Nick was Tottenham. Let's remember that. If there was no Bill Nick, there'd be no Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Look, we've got 2 ways of thinking about this, right, yeah? Either we turn around and say to ourselves, right, yeah, that if there's a reason, please let us know.
Yeah.
Even if we don't agree with it, it's at least there's a transparency. At least there's communication going on. But we're left in the dark to argue with each other.
They
right?
don't care, Mr. K.
Look,
they
the club
don't care about our history.
The club does not make an official statement, right? Yeah, saying we have to sell to buy. Go on.
You said, correct me if I'm wrong. I will say one thing. He did come out, the Parasite, and say we have a no. He did come out and say, since I've been at the club, we have a no statue policy. He didn't go into the specifics as to why we don't.
Yeah.
But it came out, and it's to me, this is just this is just another thing to whack on the disrespect. Like you said in a very, very good speech earlier, I am so happy that these boys do what they do, because we have a history where Tottenham Hotspur stood for something, where Tottenham Hotspur meant something, where we were affiliated with the FA Cup, we were affiliated with the great attacking football, we were affiliated with being the first, we were affiliated with getting great players, we were affiliated with great managers. Everything we had affiliated with us has gone. We are now a corporate. We are now a corporate. We are not a football club. We are a property magnate with a football team on the side. That's what we have become as a club. But as long as we can sell shirts in America and Canada and Australia and all around the world, South Korea with Kaguma is, and I'm sure I saw everyone in the chat, but that woman is just incredible. She is absolutely I've never met this woman, and I love her. I absolutely love her. She's incredible. But the only other thing I want your guys to, do you know what? I actually bet Daniel Levy is praying Arsenal get this postponement because he knows what's coming. He has seen it. And did you all read that Daily Mail article?
I don't read the Daily Mail.
I don't get the Daily Mail over here, so
it's been going around on all the social medias with there was an article on the Mail Online saying fans ready to riot or fans not riot, fans ready to go nuts and Levy after 14 years. Well, the person that was in that article, there's someone holding the Levy outside, and it's my mate Ryan that was with you on the stream on Wednesday.
Nice.
It's we're getting this, mate. It's fun. This time, I said this too many times. It was like a full storm. I thought when I came back from the NFL protests were going to be like mass numbers. Thought there was going to be mass numbers, but obviously there wasn't, and I understand why some people didn't. One person I want to give a big shout out, because I know he's in the chat, is Chris Agenbar, because he came and introduced himself to me and was out there. So big up to Chris. Chris is a top man. But it was a bad letdown, and a lot of Levy outers were taking the piss. Levy inners, oh look at you, you've only got 40 people, you've only got 20 people. You've only got 20 people, but because of that 20 people, we've made the New York Times and the papers that Joe Lewis will read. People keep thinking that we actually want Daniel Levy to go, oh no, I'm scared, I want to go. No, that's not the object. The object is to cut him off at the source, get worldwide media to cover it, get things in the stadium to protect sponsors or whatever can see it. So they're like, Daniel, what the hell's going on here? When it comes to the corporates, if imagine we were all like the Parasite and had millions and we could just fly over and do what we want. If I flew you all over, obviously it would be just you, though, because if I flew you over a private jet or people, I flew my friends over from Canada, but I was this massive business and I took them to see Tottenham as a corporate to wine and dine them, and all you heard was Levy out, boo, blah, blah, blah. Do you think the corporates are going to be happy? They'll be like, no, what are you doing here, Daniel? I give you good money to come and wine and dine and attract business. You're doing the exact opposite. That's what this whole agenda is. We don't think Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis, Jesus Christ, putting the pair of them together, that's even worse than I thought. It's not to get them to go, oh no, they're picking on me. No, it's to stop and get as much attention out there so no one wants to be associated with him. Tonight, why have our sales gone down by whatever? Because people stopped buying the kits, the drinks, and everything in the. That's what it's all about. It's not about attacking Levy and going, "Oh, you're picking on me. He's taking my lunch money." No, it's not that. But I can guarantee you, he is kind of praying that NLD doesn't go ahead because he knows what's coming. I mean, we are going to. One thing I will say, we are going to support the boys for 90 minutes. We will support the boys. Everything drops. But if it's a shitty performance and the worst happens and we lose, get ready. Get ready, because things are going to happen. And the amount of Twitter groups now that are talking to the Twitter group I'm in to try and combine to say, right, listen, how do we do this? We're actually getting the momentum this time.
It was very strange that with the Daily Mail. I mean, when I scroll down on the article on the Daily Mail, when you scroll further down, there's other articles as well, which are highlighted that you can click onto. And one of them was blatantly turned around and said that Twitter and the handle of Enoch Out is trending really high.
Yeah, we got it trending. That content in Enoch Out, we got it trending.
So it's like, I think...
My group, that's the whole, like you said, the entire Spurs community.
Now, normally when these type of things happen, there's a certain degree of shade thrown onto the ENIC out support, right? Yeah, by the general tabloids and the media, which are like, center right and so forth. They generally tend to protect the corporates. So I was a bit surprised that this was the case. Sorry about this, guys. I did ask him to quickly get a latte together.
It's true. It is true. I agree.
Can I just quickly say thank you to Kaguma, who's donated to the channel. Thank you very much, Kaguma. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Shall we get on some of these comments?
We really do need to have a clear a few comments because it's about 25 minutes worth.
Right, I'm just trying to find where we are.
I'll start it. Shall I bring it up, mate?
Yeah, if you can bring it up, right. Okay.
Cole Simpson saying, Levy will lie to anyone, won't he? Get out of our club and sell to someone who wants to actually win something. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's where I find where we are now. Right, we'll do that one for Paul Brown very quickly.
My screen is encompassed with legends. Thank you very much. Yeah, we got some great guests on today, and Ben as well.
We have
fantastic wingman to have for our channel. And we're on to
Mark Cousins.
Oh, sorry.
Today is today.
Today, yeah. I was also bringing on to what Mr. K said about verbal contracts. In Levy's case, you've got to change the old phrase, and it becomes a verbal contract isn't worth the piece of paper he just sold you.
It isn't. I mean, it makes you laugh, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, you've got Boris Johnson having parties at number 10, God knows, even before a funeral. Party like there's no tomorrow, and you've got Daniel Levy that wants to spend a bit of money. Yeah, I don't know who's worse.
Yeah, I know, mate. Right, on we go. Where are we? We're at Guguma saying to Brian David, glad you did that self-care, Brian. Yeah, everybody needs a day off sometimes. You're overworking yourself, Brian. A pot of money is probably in pesetas, says Chris Agomba. Yeah, agree. Paul Brown saying kudos to Dermot and TTG and having such a great panel. Thank you very much. And as the fans make the club, as Mr. K says, the guests make the channel as well.
They do.
I'd like to have a small word about this comment because it needs to be said that my family have worked with Epping Forest Council, Haringey Council, Stratford Council, which is Newham, part of the Newham Council. We've worked with Hackney Council. By far, the worst, least caring, least unprofessional council there is Haringey Council. So when we blame Tottenham Hotspur for a lot of the shit that's happening, it's because Tottenham has been allowed by Haringey Council to get so bad that the only way to improve the football club in terms of the area is for Levy to buy it all. So by their poor standards that they've run that area at, we've now got Levy triple the power because he has all the money in the world to buy up all the property because it's got so low because of their poor treatment of that area and the people in the area. So because of their mismanagement of the entire area, we've now got a dictator running Tottenham. It's all their fault. All they needed to, like, for example, the streets clean. They went to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club and said, because you've got a stadium, we want £1.3 million to clean the entire area of Tottenham. That's not Tottenham's job. It's not their job to clean the streets. It's your job to clean the streets. Yes, Tottenham should invest in the area. They should give some money to the local council. But to blackmail Tottenham to clean the streets because they don't want to put the money in themselves, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing what Hackney Council do with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And because of their shit running, it's now made Levy 10 times more powerful and 10 times harder to get rid of because of their poor mismanagement of the whole situation. Rant over.
A good rant it was. Listen, unfortunately, I'm going to need to go. And the reason I'm going is as much as I love this club and as much as I love ranting about that one and only goddamn parasite, I have 4 nephews and 1 niece that will always be more important. And I haven't seen them for a few days. So I'm going to spend some time with Isaac, Noah, Joseph, Levi and Sophie and have a bit of fun with them before I get ready to go to war this weekend. And just keep an eye on my Twitter or anything where people follow me because I will be letting everyone know Sunday if the training ground is on Monday. And all I will say is obviously Tottenham on Tour are going live at 8:30 tonight, doing all things NLD. And we are joined by a good friend of mine and someone that I'm honoured to have met is Kenny Ken, who used to be on Arsenal Fan TV. Really, really, really good guy. He came on my mental health show that we did in May the 4th in place of what was going to be the late, great Claude. But Kenny Ken is a phenomenal guy. Really interesting, old school. And we're going to be talking all things NLD. And I'm sure a little discussion about our owners and their owners will come up. Well, I'm on the stream, so I can guarantee it will. But yeah, so I wish everyone in the Tottenham Tantrum Golf family a very, very happy weekend. Hopefully Sunday, if it goes ahead, will be an amazing day, a day full of happiness for one. And I will say goodbye to everyone. And for Ben, Shabbat Shalom, Anthony.
Good job, Puppy.
And I will speak to you later. And as always, Levy out.
Big up, Ben. Brian, big up, Brian. Big up. Why did I just call him Ben?
Because Ben's a legend as well.
Yeah,
That's right.
Ben as well, yeah.
Sorry, Mr. K. We'll get back to you in a moment on some further thoughts. We're just going to get through a few more of these comments, I think, because they really stacked up. Chris Agomba saying, I agree with Ben. I work in council and planning committee. Would have released their minutes, and local press and national press like Football London would pick it up and ask the club for a statement. Yeah. Well,
it's the media. It's back to the media. The media are the biggest problem.
Paul Brown saying to Chris Ari Pesetas about sums it all up. Yeah, it really does. Or could be talking yen now, couldn't we?
That's true.
Carl Simpson singing for you, Mr. K. That's because you're a legend. Absolutely. Andrew Bailey, morning, mate. Morning, chaps.
Morning, Andrew.
You know me.
Yeah,
Right.
and welcome, Andrew. Andrew entered our TTG fan group last night, so welcome, Andrew, to that group as well.
The whole Y word thing is another program all by itself, isn't it? We're going to have to do that at some point, I think.
We will do.
Guguma saying hello to Andrew. Moondog, morning, mate.
Good morning, Moondog. Nice
If you
to see
haven't
you,
left
sir.
already, it was ages ago. This. Guguma, love seeing the vlogs of everyone on the We Are Tottenham TV and Will Stewart's channel. Fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Guguma saying hello to Moondog. Moondog saying hello to saying good morning, Guguma. Andrew Bailey is saying Guguma hello. Guguma, Moondog, good morning. Happy to see you again. Guguma saying at Andrew Bailey. There we go, Koof.
Our style and success was built on those two Spurs legends. I'm assuming they Bill Nick and
Arthur
Rowe.
off the road before setting the style. Yeah. Guguma saying it would be really nice to see statues of the legends. It certainly would.
It's a disgrace. I don't care what anyone says. It's an absolute bloody disgrace.
As pointed out earlier, it'd be nice if we actually had a bit of clarity on what the reason is why they're not there. It may
Even call one of the stands after them, the Bill Nicholson stand or the Arthur Rowe stand.
Yeah, there should definitely be more anyway. The club, the ground should be a shrine to our past. That's what we're all about. We're nothing about our history. Just plastic might as well be.
If we get reminded of our history, then we get reminded of the fact that we used to win things.
Yeah. Funny how it's not there.
Expectations will then rise.
There's a quote. There's something I picked up, Mr. K. Right, 49-50, we won the second division championship. 50-51, we won the league. 60-61, we did the double. 62, we won an FA Cup. 63, Cup Winners' Cup. 67, FA Cup. 71, League Cup. 72, UEFA Cup. 73, League Cup. 74, runners-up in the UEFA Cup. 81, FA Cup. 82, FA Cup. 87, FA Cup runners-up. 1991, FA Cup. 1999, League Cup. 2008, League Cup. Every decade, Spurs have won a trophy. Since from 1949-50 to 2008, we've won a trophy in every decade. Since the turn of this century, we've won one trophy.
Is it true that Greavesy never won a title?
Yeah.
With our club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greavesy came. Jimmy Greaves came in I think it was September or October of 1962 for the 61-62 season.
It's a
He
bit of a
won
shame.
He won two FA Cup winners with us and a Cup Winners' Cup winners medal. Never won the league.
But at least he got some silverware. At least he got some silverware.
Still a nice haul, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a nice haul.
And I love how Bill Nick says, "I'm not paying $100 grand. I'm going to pay you 99,999." And
No,
don't forget 99p.
You could say that's a Levy thing.
Yeah.
But
even that when Trevor Francis was the first £1 million player, Brian Clough came out years later and said that the final deal was 1.3 million after everything was paid on, everything was added together. It was actually a 1.3 million pound deal at the end of the day.
Anyway,
a bit of useless information for everyone.
Let's clarify a few of these because we've got hundreds of comments building up. Paul Brown saying, why can't Linux board, etc., just give us the required tools in order to at least compete? Trophies top four will happen in the future if such just happened. You can't argue it. You got to give you get yourself a skilled workman and give him some good tools.
No, the interesting thing here, right, is that Conte was asked about this in the last press conference and the previous press conference, and he specifically stated that the solution is not just to buy players. He said that there's so much more work to be done other than buying the players. Now, if he's talking about so much work, does that mean that the infrastructure, the footballing infrastructure behind the scenes of our club is in such dire straits that this man is saying, forget the transfers, we've got so many other problems to deal with? Listen to his words. Paratici came in and said, I need to bring the the scouting network up to a standard which will be like other top clubs. Which means that for all this time, we've been scouting with substandard scouting network. Right? If listen very carefully, because Conte is the only one that's going to be able to tell us the truth. And I think right now I think to a certain degree, after he has had that meeting, he's going to start to get muzzled. They're going to start to muzzle him, watch. And I think that process has already started. Where they told him, listen, geezer, calm down on this. You remember when Paratici first came in and he got on the sidelines and then they were playing a game and he got up and he goes, yeah, get in there, go on. And us fans, we loved it. And then all of a sudden, in Twitter and in certain media streams, it comes out, oh no, the fans don't like it. And then he's told, sit yourself down and don't do that again.
I actually know the reason for that.
Go ahead.
The players didn't want Paratici there. The fans loved it. The players didn't want him there.
The players again. The players, the ones that got so many managers sacked, got us nowhere, still playing that crap, collecting their money, right? Yeah, and apparently they're always right. Yeah. Oh well, at least I know now.
Yeah.
Well, do we ever really know anything? No, not really.
No, we can know when we use our eyes, or we use our ears, and we talk to each other and get a collective sort of like knowledge from each other. And that's the best way. Thank you. Whoever turned that noise off. Thank you. It's a collective, knowledge that we're getting together. You can't keep fooling us all the time. It's like Boris Johnson. He's turning around and say something. We can blatantly see that he's lying out of his arse. But he makes an excuse, and then people come along and say, well, there you go. Look, there's an excuse. We're all happy. Let's move on. These excuses are lame as anything.
I think half the trouble is NDAs, isn't it? Non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah, NDAs.
You never get a manager leaving and you hear what happened. It's just quiet, keep the money.
I think there was a player the other day. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it. Yeah, that's right. I've got a friend of mine who's in Mexico. His name is Andreas, otherwise known as Hard Talk, a.k.a. Mexican Spurs SC on Twitter. And there was a tweet that was made by Ramon Vega. Everyone remember him? Mm-hmm. And he said basically, and another year, more and more, I start to believe we have a real estate company, then a real estate company, then a football club. Lucky we have some great fans to support the club. But enough is enough. Maybe I should not say that, but I just feel like that. And here's someone that doesn't have a non-disclosure contract, spitting it out. I think you're right. The lack of noise made by anyone that leaves the club is interesting, including players.
It happens at
Including
every
players.
club, though. Every club has NDAs, though.
Yeah.
It's not just our club.
No, I'm talking about the lack of information coming out. It allows someone else to step in and say, oh, well, here's the reason why. We cannot buy players because we have to sell them first. We're really hard up for scrap. But we went for 3 transfer windows right here when we were in the Champions League year after year, where we didn't buy no one, and all of a sudden now we're in the deficit end of that. That doesn't make any sense. But then, my forte is not mathematics or finances. So maybe there's a lot more complicated, and my little simple brain doesn't seem to know the answer. But there are other clubs out there. Like somebody turned around and said, oh, well, nobody buys in January. Villa bought 2 players. 3. No, Everton bought 2 players, a right back and left back. And Villa bought 2 players too. And these are not exactly Mickey Mouse players. They're quite a decent amount of players there. But, maybe they don't have the expense and the overhead of a large stadium to pay, which I thought was a self-contained cost.
Well, Everton, in terms of that...
Ben, is that better, Mr. K? The noise.
It's better. The big noise is gone. The big noise is gone. Just a very subtle one now.
Are you referring to Brian?
No. What I've realised, I've worked out where the noise was coming from. I have my laptop close to me because I suffer from dyslexia.
Oh, it's the fan.
And I'm trying to read the comments, but I've actually pushed my laptop farther away from me.
Okay.
So
I would suggest the best thing to do, Dermot, is just keep your hand on the mic on the mouse and just click on mute for yourself when you're not talking, and you can get all the comments and everything. And when you need to speak, just unmute yourself. That's what I do anyway. When I used to have really crappy microphones and so forth.
Yeah.
That's what I used to get around it.
But is that better though?
Much better, a million times better. Thank you very much, honestly.
All right, I'll just push back a bit further.
Comments, there's loads of comments, man.
We need to get through them. Go on, Kauffee.
Do you want me to?
I've got to say the words. I'll hit them. You read them.
In terms of Everton, no. Everton are in dire straits at the moment. As Sean put it in the chat, they've got
Ben,
to
can we get through some of these comments just very quickly and we'll get back to your comments?
Go on, Ben's mid-sentence.
Go on, Ben.
You might as well finish off, Ben.
Everton are minus 40 million. If they don't sell players and get cheaper players in, they will be banned from Europe if they even get in Europe because of financial fair play. So Everton are in dire straits. Villa have just been bought by a multi-billion-pound owner, so they've got the money now, and they need to reinforce the team, as well as they've got a new manager. So this is the reason why they're buying players, because they've got a new manager. In terms of the infrastructure, that's why Paratici has been bought in, because he built an infrastructure at Juventus. And I would like to blame Paul Mitchell for this, in terms of, because he was in charge of our scouting network. And when he left, he gutted it. So really, it's a mixture of many things, but in terms of the infrastructure at Tottenham is unbearable. It's shocking, which is why we need to be giving Paratici the tools he needs, and we need to be giving him the freedom to rebuild the infrastructure.
You could also tie that into talking about academy players.
Yeah,
it seems to be such.
Oh my days!
Our club.
Did you hear about Miller? Did you hear about Dylan McCandy?
Yeah.
Right, his contract's finishing at the end of this summer. And apparently, there's already a club that's talking to him. They want to sign him up, and we're going to let him go.
Yeah.
If there's
another academy player,
if there's a buyback clause, I'm happy with that.
No, it's free. No, his contract's free. He's finishing in summer. He's free to sign with whoever he likes. Yeah. He's free to sign with whoever he likes, and that's another good prospect coming out of our academy that's not been promoted, not been pushed forward, not been brought in and vetted into. We haven't developed the final stage to make him into the level that we want him to be, and that's a bit of a shame.
It's always a shame, but.
Anyway, I think we do actually need to crack on with some comments now. We're almost half an hour behind now. Gagoon was saying such wonderful history to honour. We certainly do, and we should be. Andrew saying we need a statue of Dermot. I agree. Let's get on out there.
I actually take that as an honour.
Symbol of the passion of the fans.
It's true. I mean, Tottenham would be nothing without the fans.
Yeah.
And I've got a rant coming later, but we'll get through these comments first.
I thought we already did it.
No, I did a big one.
We can skip past these people saying hello and things. The club Chris saying the club doesn't have a statue policy because the cost to maintain them, and if they get vandalised, yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Be surprised. Paul Brown saying, "Preach, Dermot, preach." That was from much earlier. Yeah, we're off on one, and it was quite right as well. Celery agent, you're quite the legend now, Gaguma. I knew you would be. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Empress of the TTG army. And we've just upgraded Mr. K. He's the Colonel. So we've got him up there. He's in the hierarchy as well.
HMQ saying this is powerful testimony.
Yeah, it is.
Going back 25 minutes, yeah. And Ryan McFarland, afternoon, lads. He said,
"Are you sure it's not good evening, lads?"
Yeah, this window will be the straw that breaks the camel's back towards Levy.
Yeah,
looks like it. Gaguma saying, "No, you're the legend. So much passion and camaraderie." Thank you, Gaguma. It's lovely of you to say.
And thank you once again for the donation. It's very, very kind of you. So thank you so much indeed.
John Fitzpatrick, big up to everyone. Big up,
John. Have you okay, sir?
And good day, Aussie Irish saying, it's a celery agent saying that. Yep, certainly a few Aussie Irish around. That's for sure.
I told you, Cooper, you never beat the Irish. I keep telling you, you never beat the Irish.
Can make them run away to Australia, though. Is that it? Is that what he's saying? Right. Paul Brown said, if we could only transfer the passion from the stream such as these towards the pitch for owners, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Just get it through to the owners. The rest will follow after that.
Yeah. We need proper owners. And then she's saying big up celery agent. Hang on. Mr. K, there we go, Ben. He would love to have that latte now. You mentioned coffee. Ben's head's down watching the news. You mentioned coffee. Ben's head pops up like a jack in the box. Coffee, Ben.
It'll be good.
See, told you. Just done it there.
Yeah. Mr. Catman.
So who said how's things, champ? Gagoon was 9:30 now. 10 to 10 now. But Ben is giving me sudden coffee craving. Yeah, I'll look at that as well, and I'm thinking the same thing. I'm a tea fan, but I love it when it's a really good coffee. Celery agent, it's Saturday tomorrow, Gaguma. Go for it. Yeah, why not? Have a late lie-in. Take care, Brian. Thank you. He's well gone, but he knows we love him. He knows we all love him. Teeny. Oh, you're right. Maybe a teeny tiny cup won't hurt. Yeah, that's the spirit. It's the only cups you'll be seeing around Spurs for a while.
And I think they're just talking to themselves, aren't they? Here, rarely.
Yeah.
Them up, do that.
Oh, we're not too far behind with the comments after all.
I've just had something come up on TTG, Ben, and I want you to very quickly talk about it. Are you starting a coffee stream?
Yes, I am. Next week, we're going to start doing some coffee afternoons. Just me in my coffee shop. It's just going to be some quiet reflections, somewhere you can hang out, listen to some nice jazz music, just read your paper, and we can have a chat.
Yeah, just be careful.
I've already subbed onto that channel, and I've also put the notification bell on. So as soon as you release something, I'm going to be notified straight away. Otherwise, I don't want to miss it.
Yeah,
just be careful with the music. So will I, Ben. Just be careful with the music. You might get.
Yeah, I found some non-copyright music on Spotify that I can use. It's not going to be on the stream. It's just going to be like ambience so that you can hear it, but you won't hear it.
Yeah. Well, if you need to, I'll talk to you privately about something, Ben, in the background. I have an idea for you, sir. So I'll talk to you in the background.
We're getting there.
He's not going to make it into an Irish stream.
No, I'm just saying.
It's all right, I'm joking.
If you want, I talk to you in the background, Ben. I just want to help you in the way I can in the background. So if I can help in any way I can, we're here for you.
Right, what else we got? Mark Cousins, guys, I've got my all-time Spurs 11 sorted. If you still want, we'll definitely get you on for that. Should have done it with Mr. K this morning, really, shouldn't we?
And I've just subscribed and hit that notification bell as well.
Thank you, sir.
Mark saying, Ben, what is the channel?
It's a channel. Go on, Ben.
It's the coffee company that is, and let me put a link in the chat. I need to find the bloody channel.
Let's do a little stream for you, a little banner. That'll be good.
It's in the chat, so you can just copy and paste it, and you can see it.
If you want as well, Ben, I can link you into our Twitter group as well, so you can stream on there as well. So
I'm just going to keep it to YouTube at this moment in time, because I'm not going to use StreamYard. I'm going to use a different platform, and it's going to be So I'm not going to use StreamYard. It's just going to be a very simple thing, and not going to muck about too much.
We'll all be there. Looking forward to that.
And Carl Simpson said, Ben, you legend. Look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, we did catch up then. People would stop talking for a little while. That's all right.
We did very well there, Koof.
Let's utilise Mr. K is my thoughts. Are
you going to put on this game?
On the channel?
Koof.
Sorry?
You going to put on the game?
Are we going to put on the game? Oh, no need. Well, there's several of us here, is there?
Okay. All right.
Okay,
the channel in the chat in the chat, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course you can.
I pasted it into the chat, but I'm not too sure whether or not it's going to show up to viewers. Viewers, if you can see the link which I pasted into the chat, please let me know. If not, then I think Dermot might be the only one, or the channel owners, the only people that can actually do that. But I pasted it there for the coffee channel, for Ben's coffee channel. If it's there, let us know. If not, then Dermot pop that on there.
Hang on, I think I've
no, Salary says no, it's not there.
Yeah,
Salary says no, it's not
even
there.
I can't see it. It's only going.
Yeah, so it won't come up when I've done it. Never mind.
I'll do it now for you. Yeah, I'll do it now for you.
Brilliant.
So, Mr. K, Sunday, North London derby.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because there's even talk of it being postponed now, with Arsenal down to 12 players, was it, Ben? I think something like
12 players.
I've got a funny feeling that it suits the purpose of Arsenal to not have so many intensive games because they've got very important match with Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I think to them, that's very, very important. And if they can push back, any other matches, then they're going to do it. But coming on to the actual game itself, let's just pretend it is going to happen. The thing which I'm looking forward to most is seeing our captain where he's supposed to be. We need our captain. He's been the most reliable person year in, year out. Doesn't matter which game it is. There's hardly that many games that I can think of where he come and had absolute mares. So we need our captain. Because right now, the league position is kind of fundamentally important. If we want to keep Conte and we want to attract more players coming in and we want to keep some of our legends happy. So the league is kind of important. I know we would love some trophy and I'm hoping that we do get a run somewhere in a club. But, let's just see. Do
you think... Do you think we might? We're likely to see Eric Dyer back as well, so we could be looking at almost full strength, bar Sonny.
Not just Dyer, but I think there's talk of Romero being very close to coming back. And what Conte said was that basically it would be a mistake to bring them into the Chelsea game. Okay, so this was what he said just before the Chelsea game. He goes that it would be a mistake to do that. Which means that hints towards that them being ready, or at least Dyer definitely, but Romero also maybe a bit part maybe on the game, a North London derby game. So I'm optimistic that we're going to start to see an improvement in our overall squad when these two particular players come back and shore up our defense. Because tell you the truth, what I saw with my eyes was Tanganga, good lad. But he still needs about another season, 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons to become into an absolute pro. He's got all the makings of it. If we consistently give him the experience, we consistently back him, let him grow, let him rub shoulders next to experienced, defenders like Dyer, like Romero, and learn from them and gain their respect. Because when you gain a top professional's respect, it makes you... it lifts you up. It gives you that extra 10%. And also, it wisens you up. because your level of uncertainty diminished because you've got these people molding your brain into how you're thinking. Now, Tanganga's was taking just a little bit longer every time he had the ball to decide what to do and where to send the ball. By comparison to Sanchez, who is much more experienced, Sanchez was very smooth. The ball came to him, he very smoothly dealt with it. You know, all those complaints we had last season of Sanchez messing up when he had the ball, to me, with my eyes, that is gone. The confidence with which he handled the ball, you know, even sliding it through his legs, I thought, wow, this geezer's he's got a little bit of maneuvers here. Coming on to the second part, which is Skip. When Skip came on, there was a day and night difference in the midfield, the attacking intensity, the pushing the midfield forward and forcing their defense to go back. And this is Chelsea we're talking about. You know, quality players at the time. But we brought on Skip, and all of a sudden there was a change. There was movement. There was much more attacking intent, and also there was lots of more pressing too from the midfield. Because you can't just have the players at the front doing the pressing. You need these players behind you to come forward as well. Otherwise, you leave a massive gap. So I saw that, and also the way Skip moves. You know, when you see him with your eyes. On a computer screen, on a TV screen, you can't see it so much. But when you see with your eyes a real life person, you feel that presence. And he has an amazing presence on the pitch. And he's beefed himself up. His body strength, his upper body strength has got bigger, you know, since he's come back from loan, since he's come back from Norwich. And that is starting to show, that maturity is starting to show. And the beautiful thing about Skip is he doesn't flaunt it. He doesn't look arrogant. Do you understand? He goes to and does a job as a matter of fact. And I think that's beautiful that he's coupled up in the midfield with Højbjerg. And, you know, fair enough, Højbjerg has maybe come down from an 8 to about 6.5 in terms of performance. But I think the player was so overplayed since he came into our club that basically we need to give him a break. So when Conte said we need to have 2 people for every position, we need somebody to replace Højbjerg too. Now, the beautiful thing about this season is you know, the way that we've had to eat our words when it comes to Winky, right? You know, Poch would call it... Now, Poch, incidentally, used to big him up and call him Winksy. Winksy. But now Conte's come in and started calling him Winky. Now, when managers start to give a player a nickname, that tells you that bond is forming. Because they want that player to run through brick walls for them. And that's what I saw. The third thing I saw was when Skip came on, he not this game, but the previous game when Dombele was slowly walking off, he patted Dombele to get to as he came on and said, "Go on, move quicker." That tells you that he's gone over that line where he's not a passenger in the game. He is an active participant, a general on the pitch. And we need more generals on the pitch. And regardless of what I may think about Davis, he has that about him. He has that experience and maturity. And I saw that on the pitch where he was telling people, he was pointing in the right places and doing the right things. He may not be the physical specimen he used to be, and he may not have ever had those technical skills that we would desire. But in terms of experience, maturity, and giving for the badge, we've got that with Davis, okay? Right? So Davis, Winky, Dyer, Sanchez, they're turning good. I pray that there's an opportunity for Delhi to wake up now that Dombele looks like he's out the door. You know, Delhi went off, right? You know that game where they had to come and we were losing like against Morecambe. Delhi went off the other side. And as he walked around, so that's a good thing, right? It shows that he's intelligent enough to know that I'm giving for the team. Conte said at the beginning of the season he wants people to give for the team. And one of the complaints he made against Dombele was he said, I want him to start learning to give for the team. And we saw an example of that when he didn't walk off properly, okay? Now, with Dele Alli, he gave for the team. Forget his stroppiness, forget all that fluffy stuff on his head. that showed me that he has a level of integrity that is still there in the player. The love for that club, not love, but the respect for that club is still there. Now, as he walked around, every 5 yards, he was doing this. And don't forget, he had a long way to walk around. And as he walked around, he was doing this, which means that he has a certain love and respect for the fans. He may not show a smiling face every now and again, but those two actions prove to me that there's still a decent person inside that player. You know? So we all may laugh and ridicule the poor man, but at the end of the day, those two things are the basis of what I expect to see from our players. Somebody willing to give for the rest of the team, and also have some respect, pay some respect towards for the fans. Dombele, when he walked off, he didn't give no respect for the fans. He didn't go off quick enough. He didn't give no respect for his fellow team players who are trying to win a match. And if you can't do it, be humble enough to let other people get on the pitch and do it for you. Gil was on the other side of the pitch, and he got off the pitch before him. You know, look, I don't want to be too hard on the poor boy, you know, Dombele, because I know he's from another country. I know his culture is different. I know his demeanor is different. I know his body has got a different gait. I know he hasn't had a good run of it. I know he's lost his mates like Sissoko and Aurier. I get all that, but if you're not happy and we're not happy with you, then let's part ways. Make the deal. Levy, make the deal. You know, for once in your life, just swallow your pride. Just make the deal. Let the boy go. You will have, you know, it'll make the fans happy. It'll make the team players happy. Because I could see on the bench, some of the players, they definitely were not happy. And they showed it. They didn't even hide it. They showed it. They glared at him. And I think when you have a team structure, when you have a person like that, I'm not saying he's a bad apple. I'm just saying that whatever you are, you're disgruntled, whatever it is, you know, you either step away, and if you are going to step in, then please do the basics of what a club player is supposed to do. Show respect for your fellow team. Show respect for the fans. You know, you may not like the manager, but at least, or whatever, you may not like Levy, whatever, it doesn't matter. Show those two things. They're the most simplest things to show. And, you know, it doesn't cost you anything to do it. What I can't understand is there nobody in the club that can talk to him on a personal, intimate way. Is he isolated? You know, when he leaves the dressing room, is there like no one he socializes with that's at the club? You know, I think maybe that's what it is, because he had his head down. He had his head down when he walked off, and he was more interested in his sleeves than he was to look at the fans. You know, they didn't start booing him until he started dragging his feet. Yeah. They weren't booing him at the beginning. So, you know, I don't want to slag any of the players. Honestly, God, I do not want to slag any. I used to, but I don't think that's healthy anymore. I don't think that's healthy. We got to start treating players like human beings, right? From our heart. As fans, well, you know, we're not management of the club. You know, we're not in charge of their purchasing and selling and whatever else. We're fans. Money, you know, how much he gets paid a week, how much it costs us to buy him, that shouldn't really concern us. We should be concerned with those basic facts. Do you respect the fans? Do you respect your team? Show us those two things. They're the only two things I care about. And then the performance on the pitch will come. And that's what we loved Lamela. You know, I know there's people out there that didn't value Lamela. They looked at the statistics and they said, oh, look at the stats. Look how many lack of assists he does. Look how many lack of goals. Look at his lack of appearances because he's injured. Well, when that boy came on the pitch, if there was one man that was going to get aggro and give it to the opposition, he was the man. If there was somebody that was going to do shithousery and break something in the opposition, that was the man. And who's ever going to forget that Rabona? Who's ever going to forget it? Ever. You know? So this is what we want from our players. These type of memories. You know? And Winky, he's done it for us. That beautiful goal he scored. Because up until that moment we scored that goal, we were lost at sea. We were up against it. Nothing was going in. And we had the fear in our heart. And you know, when the fear goes to the belly, it can start to affect the whole team. All of a sudden, you're 10% slower than you should be. All of a sudden, you're kicking the ball and it's getting nowhere. No one's getting in it. That frustration can build. It can lead to more mistakes. So, to a certain degree, Winky kicked off the action that later on got Kane a goal, that later on got Moura a goal. Because once you got that goal, there's a sudden fire inside you. There's a sudden quickness in your step. And all of a sudden, there's an assurance in your mind that you can do it. And that's what we want to see from the players. Because in the past, the players used to somehow go down. It was almost like it's almost like they don't believe they can do it, but they're going to fight, but their fighting is not clear and clinical. That's what we got right now in the midfield. We've got a player that we've slagged off for years, and he's all of a sudden coming good. And all it took was the right type of manager. Which means, what the hell did we have before? You know? What did we have before? If Nuno couldn't do it, Jose couldn't do it. Ryan Mason couldn't do it. Because don't forget, Ryan Mason put him in the final. You know, if he played like this in that final and we still lost it, we'd respect Winky. But we don't. I mean, but now I do. Now I love him. One of our own. This Sunday, personally, I want us to turn up, and I think we're going to be angry about Chelsea. Because when I was in the stadium right here, believe me, it was the Chelsea fans. They came out in force, like proper lot of them, and they were slagging off our team every second of the. And trust me, as a player, you're on the pitch. You're going to hear all of it. It's going to affect you. You're going to walk off and think to yourself. You're going to throw in there, and you're going to throw your boots. You're going to think two things. One, that was a better team than us. But that doesn't matter, because your hatred for those fans chanting bad things at you is going to fire them up, and hopefully we'll take it out against Arsenal. Because let's face it, they're a bunch of pansies anyway.
Speaking of which, I do have that game to put on. It's only about a quarter of an hour long. Just a highlight.
Might as well put it on. Get us in the mood for Tottenham.
Bit good feelings on the game.
This is from 1982.
Yeah.
Tottenham versus Arsenal, 1982 FA Cup third round.
Oh.
So this is the start.
There
Here
we
we go.
Mr. K.
There's the new West Stand. West Stand.
Quick shout out to Simon at Duck Jive One for use of his film footage again. If you
love his channel.
If you want to hear this with the original soundtrack, and
oh my days, he scored some smashing goals.
He certainly did. And Duck Jive has a lot of Spurs games and a lot of England games over there. So if you haven't got Duck Jive One on your list of channels, you really ought to. He's got some great stuff.
Yeah.
Where's Ricky Villa in the comments?
Can I just say to Simon, please, can you get the 88 England versus Ireland European Championship? Me and Cougar want to do a stream of that game. We really do. It'd be a bit of fun as well.
You do, really. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Oh my days! Read that team, man. That team. Look at those. Look at the names on that team.
Just a quick go through the team. Clemens, who? Oh, it's gone now. It was there.
No, but
lads, I've got to sign off quickly. It was lovely to speak with you, Mr. K, and I'll hopefully see you in my stream next week.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining the chat.
Are you back on Monday, Ben?
I'll be back on Monday.
Ben, let's see you on Monday.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
There were the children from the local childcare community in Tottenham.
Wow.
And before Tottenham opened the West Stand, they invited all the children there. It starts with B, not Barbados.
Bernardo's.
That's it. They invited all the children there, which I thought was
one thing I love about our club, and this goes all the way back, is history. The way that it connects to the community, especially with the youth. What's happened over the last 40 odd years is that Arsenal have been able to attract more of the youth to their club than we have. And that transition, that change, it's sad to see where we are right now. Because today I've been reminded of Dylan McCandy, and, it's like, but we still do lots of nice things for the community, I mean, during COVID, for example, we set to one side areas for pregnant ladies to give birth to children. So there are actual people that can turn around in the future who are Spurs fans and say, "I was born in the stadium." Can you imagine that? Amazing.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
I mean, I was born in North Middlesex Hospital, just up the road from Tottenham.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot. Unlucky.
Just quickly clear everything up. My mother was Irish. Because my parents were Irish, I was automatically an Irish citizen. I know people say you are where you're born, but because my parents were Irish, under Irish law, I was automatically an Irish citizen. So I took up my Irish citizen rights as a baby. I was never English, never will be. I'm an Irish citizen from the day I popped out. And we lost away to Leeds 2-0 that day. I recently found out.
Kuva, did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see how confident, like, he wasn't shaking, he wasn't, it's like the way he did it. He took the ball out. Unlucky. What a shot, bro. Look how, boy, he must have some massive foot on his head. I don't like what he writes in the newspapers, but still. But he's got a foot on him, bro.
Very powerful player was Garth Brooks.
Very powerful.
I watched him on the panel for the 82 World Cup. He was on the panel. Saw it on YouTube last night, and it was how he spoke then was just he didn't care. He's still the same then as he is now. But he did a lovely interview with Ricky Villa for the 25th anniversary of the 8-1 Cup final team.
See that he got back up again.
Yeah.
He didn't lie on the ground, roll around, and like wait for and say mummy, mummy, mummy. And the referee, the referee still stopped it for a foul. Even though the player got up, he's still a foul. And today's world, you have to go on the floor, roll around, just to get next man a yellow card. That's the reason why you're doing it. And then you're looking up going, oh. And you make yourself look like an idiot because today we've got so many cameras and we've got so much replay. And you can see the players looking up going, oh, why has no one stopped the game?
Exactly.
That's when men were men.
Sorry, Doma?
Should we get through some of these comments because they're back?
Oh, yeah, go on. Better get through a few quickly.
Just very quickly, that is the link to Ben's new channel. I have put it in the chat. Please, everyone, like and subscribe and hit that notification on Ben. I think he's got 11 subscribers already.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to read this one out, Doma.
Oh, God. No, it's not. Yeah, here's a goal. What's a goal?
It is.
Listen,
do you want to try? Do you want to try, Goof?
No, I'm not reading.
Who's number 12? Is that Glenn? Number 12. Is that Glenn Hoddle?
It surely be. Hang on. They are wearing different numbers at the moment. I was going to say otherwise. Hoddle, you'll be able to tell him if you can't see the shirt numbers. He's always got his shirt outside his shorts.
That was him then. That was him then. Because that's what I noticed him. I noticed him because his shirt was out.
Him or Archibald, always with a shirt outside the shorts.
Anyway, they look like dresses. Tottenham 1, Arsenal 0.
My friends and I, we always wore our shirts outside our shorts because we thought he must be a good player if he did that.
Hang on. Hang on. I've got that. That's where we are. Hang on. That one there. That's the start of their Cooper.
Oh, we've done that one.
Ooh, that was a nasty foul.
Have you?
Yep, we did that one. That's from quite a while ago, isn't it?
Okay, so we'll start there.
It's amazing how much abuse physical abuse these players used to, get when they used to play.
Fantastic, isn't
it? And look at them. He's walking it off. That hurt, by the way. He got studs across his knee.
Yeah.
Paul Miller, what a great defender Paul Miller was.
He was.
Guguma saying thank you. Sally Age saying nice, thanks, Dermot. Subscribe, Ben, look forward to it. Yes, Hugo, she's saying, my cousin saying, cheers, Dermot, just subscribed and hit the bell. There you go. Let you read that one out, Tiff.
I think just I was anyone confident about the Arsenal game asking salary agent. You know what? Just after the Chelsea game, no, I said we're going to lose that without scoring.
Yeah.
But the closer we get towards the weekend, the more I'm thinking, come on, this is North London derby. Let's have this lot.
I did say that to you, didn't I? After the game, the closer you go, look,
we're
Spurs
home game and everything. We've got to.
Yeah, for me, Tottenham Hotspur will win on Sunday. It owes a performance, but the likes of Delhi, Winky, I'm sorry, I disagree with you, Mr. K. I cannot stand Winks. I think Winks has let us down too many times. Delhi Alley, too many times.
Yeah, that was Glenn. Yeah, that was Glenn.
yeah.
Look at that mullet.
Players like that need to learn what it is.
Unlucky, Garth.
You need to have Steve Perryman in the dressing room with a Glenn Hoddle, with a Graham Roberts, and tell them what it means to wear a Tottenham shirt. Because none of them players have a clue or pride or anything what it is to wear a Tottenham shirt. They just think it's a paycheck. It's not. There's a pride. There's an honour to wear the Cockerel on your shirt, on your chest. They need to remember that, and they don't remember that. And I think it's a disgrace. Some of these players, how they behave. Tongay, you can feck off out of my club. Delhi, you can do the same. Winky, you can do the same. Dyer, I mean, the only place for me who's improved under Conte is Ben Davies. I think has improved dramatically, and also Eric Dyer, which I never thought I would say. But the rest of them, you need to buck up your ideas because we're not giving you any more passes. We're done.
I think Conte would have turned around and made a list of the players that he said, look, I can work with, right? And basically he's got no choice but to use players that are there in the squad. He needs to butter them up. He needs to make them feel important. He needs to teach them a few new tricks to get them to work in a good disciplined system, and it makes them look good anyway. But I think to a certain degree they lack that sort of team drilling, sort of like maybe different approach that Conte's taken. Look, I'm not saying that they've become world beaters, because even at their new good level, we still got slapped around by Chelsea. So but I'm just happy that at least they're playing now. Bit late, but at least they're playing. I'm just happy for my team. I'm not necessarily happy for the individual player, but for my team, I'm happy. And it's like I think you're absolutely right to have the opinion that you've got, Dermot. I was with you 100%. I've just had a change of heart in the last few months, where I believe, for myself personally, that if you harbor these type of negative energies and emotions, right, these players don't feel it. Back in those days, look, the players you're looking at right now, there's a pride for them to wear that shirt. But in today's world, it's all business, money. These young people, that they've been brought up as a career. It's to them is a paycheck. And I think to a certain degree, that's what the modern day football is. But not everyone's like that. There are plenty of players out there that fight for the shirt, play for the shirt. It just seems to be a trend now for players to act and behave that way. In terms of like, it's a job, I got to turn up to it. No, you've got to fight every time. That's what Conte says. You want to fight every time. I want you to go out there and fight every second and kill. And I think to a certain degree, give it little bit by little bit. If by some miracle we can keep Conte till summer and the next year, right? I have hope in my heart for our team. I'm not going to get super ecstatic about thinking, oh no, we got Conte, all of a sudden we're going to win loads of trophies. Brother, you know what it is? The number one thing I wanted more than anything else, before the trophies, was the way our team played. An identity, a philosophy, and also a gumption of the individual players. That makes 11 players on the team all in unison in terms of how much they want to play for that shirt, how much they want to play for each other. Because believe me, until that happens, until that sort of like togetherness happens, we're not going to win anything. Once we get that click between the 11 players that are on the pitch and the overall squad of 25 men, until that click happens, right, we're not going to win anything. We must see that happen. I mean, I saw the beautiful drilling. Like, they moved around. I thought, you know what, this is pretty good. If only they had a bit of talent in there. And that's what Conte was talking about. Working hard is one thing, talent's another. And these guys over here, they've got absolutely everything. They got the gumption. They got the working hard. Oh, well,
They
there's
do.
no one in the box. Now that Harry Kane would have been in the box, he would have scored that.
Indeed.
Right, come on, Cove, we need to get them because we're ready for them.
Okay, Mike, so skip. It's not Dele. Future England
stuff.
starter.
Definitely,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Well, the way he's going, you could even see future England captain, perhaps.
Future club captain as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got everything in front of him. Celery agent saying Ndombele must have liked his nickname. Yeah, true. He's got a few of them now. Cole Simpson saying, I think we need to send Dele out on loan too. He needs to get some confidence back. I don't think he can do it here. I wouldn't even persevere with him if it was me, but you know, I just don't see him recapturing his old form. He's going to be a different sort of player, and for me, that's not a player worth it compared to other
You
options.
see that? You see that injured player says, "No, I'm going to walk off."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie on the floor for like 10 minutes, and you're gonna put me on there, give me oxygen, and then lift me out and get me out. No, I'm gonna walk off right now. And look, people are clapping him.
The only player that can move to Arsenal and still come back to White Hart Lane and still get a standing ovation. Seriously, it's true though. Every time he come back to Tottenham, he got a brilliant reception, Pat Jennings.
You know, there's a way of conducting yourself, and obviously the opposite example to that was Sol Campbell. There's a way of conducting yourself, you know, respecting the fans and respecting your team. And that's what was, you know, I think.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. K?
Go on.
Did you ever see, you know, the old White Hart Lane? What still makes me laugh, and I say it again and again, is when you see the tunnel and the centre circle are not in the same. What a cock up in construction! Honest to God,
I think that had an awful lot probably to do with the fact that the stadium is designed for NFL, and then an afterthought of making it into a football pitch.
Well, I mean, if you look now at this is the old White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
The old White Hart Lane had the centre circle was never in line with the tunnel in the centre of the stand, because the tunnel used to be at the far end.
Yeah.
In the old West Stand. But when they built the new West Stand, they never lined up the tunnel and the centre circle. It was the most funniest thing you'll ever see. We'll get next one here, Coop.
Oh, unlucky.
Carl Simpson said we 100% missed Lamella's attitude and bite against Chelsea.
Yeah,
absolutely, we did.
We need
and dare I say it, and the shithousery. I love this. I have this conversation with Jack Kanicki on Irish Hotspur a lot. We love, as he calls it, the dark arts.
We got Crayola Ali.
Yeah. It is Crayola Ali. John Fitzpatrick, do we have any chance on Sunday?
Yes, we do.
Of course, we
home
do.
game.
Don't believe the hype. Listen, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Right, Chelsea right now, right? Yeah, this is the worst. Arsenal right now at this particular moment in time is the worst. Like, what's happened to them in terms of injuries, this, that, and the other. This is the worst that they are. And if we're afraid of that, give up. There's no point. There's no point playing anywhere. If we can't beat this team the way that it currently is, and have confidence in our heart that we can at least, get a result, a draw or higher.
Most likely it's going to get called off, though, at this rate.
Unfortunately.
We'll see.
And there we go. This is how you beat the scum. This is how you beat the old enemy. 1-0 Tottenham. Goal by Graf Crooks. And sent us on the way to Wembley to win another one. I quick question to you, Cooper and Mr. K. We had Aussie Stream in 81. We had Tottenham in 82. Which was your favourite cup final song?
Sorry, so the first one again?
You had Aussie on its way. We had Aussie Stream in 81.
Yep.
By Chaz and Dave, and then Tottenham in 1982. The cup final
81.
songs.
Chaz and Dave. You can see from the grey beard I'm a little bit older, so I remember 81. I remember Chaz and Dave quite an awful lot. Back in them days, the strange thing is, back in them days, you could get characters like that being on top of the pops.
Yeah. I actually like the Hot Shot Tottenham song more, but the 81 final was special. That really was.
I like Aussie's Dream, but I prefer Tottenham because it's more like, come on, Spurs. Go on,
yeah, I mean, For me,
you gave me an option. I would have said both, but
yeah, absolutely. Anything Chaz and David's just
Yeah.
fine.
They did do some great cup final songs for us over the years, didn't they?
well, there are a few others like My Old Man.
They did also. They did.
I love all that stuff.
They did a thing called Getcha, which is actually in Cockney for, I won't repeat it, but my father, who was as Irish to the core, always said when I was small, Getcha. He picked it up from the building sites because we had our own construction firm. It was like when I did something wrong, Getcha.
I used to live in Seven Kings, which is down the road from here, right? Yeah, and there's a massive Irish community there. The central theatre club in the middle is called the Shannon. That tells you the local population is very, very, very Irish. They've got a proper Irish pub down the road. Seven Kings. If you ever come to East London, pop into Seven Kings and you're going to feel right at home. Seven Kings High Road. Remember that. Full of a very large Irish community over there. And it's been there for a very, 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 very long time. Because when I was there, this is back in the early 90s. So it's, it's a community that was already been there for ages. When I went there. So, have we gone through all the comments? Is there anything else?
That was just them now.
Just going through a few, like replying to John Fitzpatrick with a no. But do we have any chance? I think we do. Of course, we do.
I've got a comment over here, right? Yeah, that one of the fans has given, right? Yeah, in the WhatsApp to me. It basically say this is Andreas from Hard Talk, aka Mexico Spurs. So he's one of the fans which is on the other side. He's actually, I think he might actually be watching the stream, even though their time is like so early. But basically what he says is this. He goes, after the Chelsea game, it is confirmed that Spurs season ticket holders, now obviously this is his words, but I would agree with him to an awful lot that there is a certain sentiment to this, that Spurs season ticket holders care more about socialising with fancy beers and pictures for social media than getting Levy and Enoch out. No booing, no banners, just a mediocrity-loving fan base of an entertainment centre FC. Zero passion in a soulless stadium whose south stand is a wall of silence compared to the Borussia Dortmund yellow wall. Sad to see, but no surprise. I think our fan base has been subdued into, I think, becoming afraid of a mighty club like us liquidating, and that trauma is still with us 21, 22 years later. And it's sad to see that it's been well over 2 decades and we still have this fear in our heart, and we keep giving Levy a buy, and he keeps making all these property deals. This new one that the council released. It's just another one. I mean, there was one in summer that we just looked at as well. It's a prolific production line of properties and so on.
I just want to add something to that, Mr. K, if I can. I started supporting Tottenham in 1981 as a 4-year-old. My uncle took me to my first game, to the FA Cup final replay. I don't remember much bar the sound, but I was hooked. From 4 years old, I was hooked. I've seen Tottenham good. I've seen Tottenham bad. One thing that I will never say is I will never be silenced. If I have something to say about my club, I will say it. And the majority of the fans that go there, the likes of Brian Daigle and that, are trying to make a difference. Yes, I agree with your comment and the comment from the gentleman from Mexico. Some of the fans are there. They're not proper Tottenham fans.
No, we can't say that. No.
Just hear me out.
No.
Just hear me out. What I mean by not Tottenham fans, some of them come holiday and they want to go to a game.
Okay? That. You're talking about the media entertainment VIP spotting.
Yeah,
where people...
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah. They're there just for the day out. I would love to see the set stand as a white wall. We had that. Goover will tell you, we had that in the shelf, didn't you, Goover? When the old shelf on White Hart Lane.
20,000 strong, 2 tiers, walk in, going with your mates, pushing and shoving, having a laugh. And the noise generated by it was just unreal.
My problem is this new stadium hasn't got the soul of White Hart Lane. White Hart Lane was intimidating. It was close to the pitch. You went there. When we started banging out a noise, that stadium was intimidating. We had the fella with the drum. Do you remember the big fella with the drum banging the drum in the East Stand?
That's what I was there, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? There's like drumming. Well, but instead of drumming, they're having to like bash on the wall or bash on the floor or something that they were doing. Because I know that there was definitely a sound that was coming through that all the fans were making. I think now the last season we were at the Lane, the last season there, we didn't lose one single home game throughout that whole season. It was almost like a sign that the team was becoming something, you know, a real contender of some type. And then we went and spunked it all away on property instead of spending it on the players.
For me, Levy has to go, and he has to go now. No more second chances. No more giving him a bye. Joe Lewis, Enid, get out of my fucking club, because I'm sick to death of you. 21 years of fucking doing nothing. You can blame Sugar all you want. Sugar saved our club. For the good and the bad he done at Tottenham Hotspur, he saved our club. There'd be no Tottenham Hotspur without Alan Sugar. But the biggest thing I blame him for, he brought in Enid the cancer. They've been spreading that cancer since 1991 as investment.
Trouble is, Dermot. It's all well and good. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. You might as well carry on, mate, because I kind of agree with you. So why bring in another point?
I mean, I am sick to death of hearing we can't buy that player, or we can't buy that player. We have to buy and sell. I am sick to death of it. I don't want my football club like this. I'm passionate about my club. I'm passionate about Tottenham Hotspur. Us, the fans, the three of us, the people that go to White Hart Lane every week, the people that are watching, the people that are watching us on Twitter, YouTube, people that watch all the other Spurs streams, we're all one thing, Tottenham Hotspur. Not the players, not Levy, not Enoch, not the manager, nobody. Us, the fans. We have to rise as one. We have to rise as one.
Oops, Dermot, you've done something to your mic.
Have I?
Yeah. Suddenly can't hear you very well.
How's that?
That's a little bit better.
We have to rise as one identity, as one item. Tottenham Hotspur, the fans have to rise up. We should not have to take this crap. Why should we sit back and listen to Levy say, we can't buy this player, we can't buy that player? I'm not standing for it anymore. Levy, if you don't want to do good for our club, then get out of our club. Put somebody in that will do something good. I tell you what, Scholar, another jack in the box that ruined our club. Alan Sugar, good or bad. The Whale family and the Richardson family were the only ones that did any good for our club. We were most of our choices under them ownerships. Scholar broke us. Sugar made it into a mediocre top 10 side. Levy's made it into a laughing stock. Yeah, we've got a big stadium. Wow, I really love this stadium. Wow. Top 4. Yeah, we've won a top 4 cup. Yippee.
I think to a certain degree, I think what it is
I
is
want
that,
trophies. Yeah. I want trophies. I want a successful team. A team that will go out there and show passion for the badge. Not passion for the paycheck. Not passion because they're getting a Ferrari next week or a Lamborghini. Passion because they're wearing the cockerel of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And if you can't do that, then pack your bags, get your boots, take a long walk. Don't look back because we don't want you anymore. I want players there who want to play for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, not their paycheck. Sorry, ran over.
Okay, I can sense Mr. K's dying to respond to that. But could we just
no. I was going to add to him and say, with Klinsmann, a German, won everything. He gave us those things when he came here. If he can do it, what about local? What about people that are brought up here, that are in our club? What is going on behind the scenes that they have lost their heart and that they can't attach their heart the way that Klinsmann did? And I think the example I'd like to give myself is that when Tanganga burst onto the scene in terms of in our first team squad, Levy decided to give him a pay rise, give him a contract, because he started to, so well, you're going to be in the squad, you're going to be around the first team and so forth. I'm going to give you now a proper contract. Yeah? And this boy went from £1,000 a week, and the new contract was amazing, record-breaking £2,000 a week. And it wasn't until there was a tweet made out or a comment made by somebody, an ex-footballer, that turned around and said, Levy, you're a disgrace, that they decided to raise it. If you didn't get called out. So this is a bit like how the government decided that they weren't going to feed poor children, poverty children, right, yeah, in Christmas. And then Marcus Rashford turned around and said, are you crazy? I'll give money. And that forced the government then to give the money. But they couldn't have done it on their own. They just had to give £20 million, but they were willing to give £500 million to restaurant owners to stuff into their pockets. They overspent that 500 million. It went to £521 million. That overspend, well, that could have covered easily the poor, starving children out there. And I think to a certain degree, when you look at our players and you look at the last 10 odd years and some of the whispers that come out, the disgruntledness from the players, right? This is evident that the penny pinching, right? This sort of like miserly approach towards trying to get a business profitable over here in property, but trying to keep the cost low here. It's amazing how low our overall budget is for wages. It's incredibly low compared to other teams in the Premier League. We're not talking about the top 4. We're not talking about the top 6. We're talking other teams in the Premier League. We're right at the bloody bottom nearly when it comes to paying wages. And the narrative that we're a big club, the narrative that we're going to get into ESL, the narrative that we've got world-class facilities. There's something about the whole scenario for the last few years, Dermot. You're absolutely right about those players. You're thinking to yourself, they're just not good enough. What the hell should they be there? And you're right. Your expectation is absolutely spot on right. Why is your expectation right? Because you are a man who's read things up. You are a man who's looked into the history of our club. You didn't look at a tweet. You looked at it properly. You watched all the games. You read all the statements. You looked at all the greats and what they said. You looked at the history of the transfers. You've done all that research. Other people haven't. They're willing to let their emotion and that pint of drink in the lovely bar and the fact that they've got really nice, comfortable surroundings to watch this lovely game, they judge everything based on that. And they turn around and they say, hey man, we know this club. We're legacy fans. You may be legacy fans, but you're not doing yourself any favors by not looking at the history of our club, what's being shown on this channel on a regular basis. That's the beautiful thing about your channel, Dermot. It's like you don't forget. You won't let anyone else forget. And it's amazing. I mean, when I used to look around on the internet, I used to, before I used to go into Chris Cowlin or anything like that, I used to love seeing what, Duck Jive was doing. I used to love going onto his channel and watching these games that he used to do, even the clips as well that he used to do. And nobody else was doing it. And nobody else, and that's a bit of a shame. If you look at how many channels there are on sports in terms of debate with one another, because those debates spill over to Twitter, let's puff it up. I want the views. I want this. I want that. And it's all about self-glorification. It's all about your ego, Dermot, you never make it about you. You always make it about the club. You never make it about you or your channel. You make it about the history. You show people exactly why we have glory. You tell us why we have a motto: to dare is to do. You show us the evidence of past games where those players did, and they did. And the fans backed them, clapped them, treated them with respect, didn't talk crap about them. Like today's world in mass media, especially this fake land called Twitter. And yet people ain't going to let it go. It's so important. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a place. Everything has a place. Everything has a reason. Twitter has a place. It has a reason. But it has far too much ambiguity about its power and how it can corrupt and lead people to be at odds with one another. It's so easy to stow discontent. It's too easy. It's way too easy, right? Look, give us a few more years. Your channels like yours, because trust me, when you start to become a little bit successful, people automatically start to copy you. That's fine, because more channels like yours need to exist, because we've got so many other types of channels. But this is what we need. We need more reminders. We need more channels, more debate, more quizzes. I mean, if you look at Southside Spurs, right, with Johnny, their channel is built on quizzes. It's built on knowledge, and you go into their channel sometimes. There's 2 people watching. I'm one of them. I mean, hopefully they're going up to 6 now, but still, my point is that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. Yeah. That's I mean, the knowledge that those boys, all of those boys right here, have got this. When you combine them all together, the immense amount of knowledge that they have, and then you go into other channels, like for example that smelly going off milk channel, right? Yeah, I can't mention no names. They just talk bollocks, mate. Pardon my French. I know it's early in the day, but they just talk about something that makes them look good. A quickie remark, and that quickie remark. And that cynical way of doing it is perfectly encapsulated as a behavior which is used inside Twitter. And I don't blame these people, because they're the product of their environment. I mean, there's people out there like, the caller, for example, and the people inside the cheese room. They have the ability, they have the tenacity inside to make something amazingly grow. But to laugh and, to laugh at people that are protesting, to turn around and say that maybe somebody needs to give them a smack in the back of the head. And guess what? After that statement was made, that weekend, one of our boys that was protesting got smacked in the back of the head. The power, the influence, and people don't realize how they can affect other people. Right? Now, I'd like to give fellow YouTube content creators, I like to give them respect. I used to be a little bit angry before. I tried to calm it down. I'm in the middle somewhere now, where I'm trying to make peace rather than create war. Because while we fight with one another, Levy keeps making more property deals. Now, I don't want to fight with my fellow fans, because they, regardless of their difference of opinion to me, the caller loves his club. And for that, I love him. I may not go and watch their streams, but that's the one thing I respect about him. He's not a Chelsea fan. I think there's room for us to get together and heal as a fan base, right? And I think that the division, the constant stirring, the diminishing of our voice, to ostracizing, if you complain or critique, it's like dissent. You're not a fan. What do you want our club to do? Get liquidated? Honestly, this is the accusations that get thrown at us for daring to complain against the great genius businessman called Levy. Yeah, businessman, not footballing chairman. Yeah?
I strongly suspect, Mr. K, you also share my view about the way football should be played as well, because I'm a great believer in the old Danny Blanchflower quote. The great fallacy that is that the game is first and foremost about winning, when it isn't. It's about glory. It's about doing things in style with a flourish. It's about beating the other lot, not waiting for them to die of boredom.
You can have honor even if you lose.
Yeah.
It's a way to do it.
Absolutely. I'm not all for top 4 and scrapes and wins no matter what. It doesn't matter as long as we win. I hate hearing that. It's boring football. I don't want to watch that. I want to get up out of my seat and cheer my heroes. We used to do that. We've somehow forgotten this along the way. People are cheering the 0-0s because Hugo got a clean sheet. I don't want to cheer that. I like Hugo, but that's not the bit I'd want to cheer. It's It's the flourish. It's the bits of skill. It's the Ginolas doing an amazing dribble. It's Bale
And his hair as well.
Yeah, Bale belting past 3 players and smacking
Sharing him. Oh my days! I remember that.
There's just so many players that we used to get out and just absolutely relish every moment of them on the pitch, and now it's all about look at the spreadsheet, look at the corporate side of it. We're making so much money.
Image rights.
It's just all crap nowadays. It really is. That's what this channel's about. We don't enjoy that. We want the football. We want
guys,
the football.
You know what it is?
Yeah, go on.
There's a statement right here that Paul Brown has made. If streams such as this did not exist, our heritage and history right here would not be known to many, unfortunately. What it is that outside football, there's an area which I love to read, I love to engage in, and I have done so since I was young, and that's history. And also a little bit of politics and a lot of warfare. I love battles. I love going over things like that. Not because I'm a violent man, but because it's just in my blood, so to speak. Now, one of the dark lessons I learnt about the way that the Victorian-based British Empire expanded, okay, and not just the British Empire, but other empires as well, yeah. One of the tricks that they would do when they go to dominate a country is that they would totally smash the education system of that country. Okay? They would bring in the most nastiest people to be in charge, i.e. the misfits in that country that not in power. They would give them the power. They would get rid of honorable people. Right? So they want somebody in charge that's going to treat you like shit, keep you low, and then they would start messing with your history. Okay? Right? I'll give you an example of this. America. When European settlers went to America, they had it hard. They struggled. Honest to God, those people were very, very brave people. The problem is, the history books that were written later by a country that got formed filled into the history books that these Red Indians, these Native Americans that were there, were a bunch of complete savages. And the historians have now come along and changed all that history and said, what a load of bollocks, mate. They weren't savages. You ever heard of the statement, Wild, Wild West? All right. Now, the Native Americans, when they used to go through forest and woodland, they used to burn the scrub, and they used to burn the forest and the woods. Not because you're going to burn the trees down. It would get rid of all the undergrowth, right? Which will crumble down and fertilize the ground. Okay? And that would enrich it so that the trees would grow more and more beautiful. Plus, it meant that you could walk through without a thicket, without having to go through bushes and thorns and things like that. When the European settlers came in and they, gave their blankets full of stuff, Thanksgiving, to the Native Americans, and then pushed them out of their areas into reserves and so basically concentration camps, right? There was nobody looking after the forest and the woods. So the undergrowth started to grow. And that's when it became the Wild, Wild West. It wasn't just the mad behavior of the people. It was also the way the land spread itself and there was no one cultivating the land. So these narratives, the reason why I mention this is because if you have a policy not to have statues, then what are you doing? You're saying to people, forget your history. That's not so important. What the new important thing is property deal, financial security, big stadium, money, money, money. Yeah? In other words, change your to dare is to do, change your history, and make people focus on this new type of history that you're creating. Right? He's talking, this is the O'Grady's. Create a new history, a new narrative to say the identity of Spurs is maintaining a club that's never going to fall down or go into liquidation. Right? It no longer became glory. It became, well, you must survive. Survive? Thank you, Sugar. Don't like you. I really don't like you, Sugar. But thank you. You know, I respect you for that. You saved my club. Now, when you change history, you take away the achievements of other people and you robe them around yourself. Right? And this is what's happened. And then you need, once you've done that, you need other people out there to say those things to you and to say them to everyone. Now, I don't know how that particular thing happened. I don't know how that spread. I don't know whether those people in cahoots with Levy, maybe Levy used a scam on the outside. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he manipulated the media. Maybe he didn't. Maybe people felt obligated to suck up to him because he was, you know, a businessman backed up by a billionaire. Yeah. You know, maybe it's nice to have a cup of tea with him, coffee creams and so on, like the trust does. You know, how can you make a statement like you made in summer regarding the club? You wanted people to resign. You wanted the board to get changed. You wanted this. You wanted that. And then what happened straight afterwards? It's almost like somebody went along and like clapped them on the kneecaps and said, behave yourself. Remember which side your bread is buttered. And all of a sudden, they conformed, went back to being nice, polite people who are having teas. Let's not be radical. You can't say Levy out. That's dangerous. And this is what's happening now, bro. Honestly, it's like, look, I'm not a tinfoil hat person that likes to think of conspiracies. I generally don't because I understand science and so on. But I think there's too many commonalities with things that have happened in the past in other places. It's almost like someone's wrote a rule book somewhere and you picked it up and you say, hey man, I can apply those rules here. I mean, you guys are old enough to remember Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister.
Love it. I still watch the reruns now, I have to say. I still watch them now.
You still have to. Honestly, you have to because they're so relevant to today. They're always going to be relevant so long as we have a political system which is that way. Now, I'm not going to talk politics here. No way. No way. No way.
No.
But what I'm saying is, it's almost like someone's got a rule book and they copied it and now they applied it here in Tottenham. And every single technique is the same. You have 3 transfer windows right here where you don't buy no one. And at that particular moment in time, you are making the most amount of money your club has ever made. 4 consecutive years in the Champions League, culminating in the final. And then after that, you turn around and say, "Oh, we have to sell to buy."
There's also what's trying to think of the right word for it. Not inflames it or adds fuel to it or anything, but people's attitude. We want things on a plate. We want it right now. So when you do hear news, there's a tendency to just believe the first thing you've heard because you haven't got time to go and sift through it and find the truth. And this is why clubs it's like the likes of Levy can get away with it because you only have to pull the wool over people's eyes once and it spreads. They've got an entire PR department that's working just to make it look like we're doing the right thing at all times. People can't be bothered to search further. It's a natural thing. I mean, we're all guilty of doing it sometimes. We'll spot something and it's instantly triggered us on the news or something on a stream. And later on, we might think, hang on a minute, where did that come from? What's the source on that? Later on, people start getting a little bit more into it and thinking, always asking source, where did you get that source from? It's because then there's an acceptance that there is this misinformation going about.
Conte got rid of all the source, didn't he?
Could be.
Just very quickly, we are going to wrap it up soon. I know we're enjoying this, and I'm loving listening to you, Mr. K.
Oh.
I've got an appointment to get to, so we've got to wrap this up soon. Want to get through these comments. I'm going to end off the stream today with a quote from Bill Nick, and I think it's very, very apparent to how we feel about
Before
Levy.
you do, just give me 1 minute, and I just want to finish off that last statement because I gave you a background.
Yeah,
and now I'm going to bring it to where it is now in the club, right, and show you an example of how you're getting effed around with, right, in Twitter, because people out there are going to Twitter. Let me explain something to you, right? Yeah, you will get a comment from somebody who says, "Hey, man, Conte just came in. We just got a director of football in. Give him some time, man, before we start changing things. What are you all jumping up and down about? You know, I told you about that history is so important, and you're trying to rewrite history. Well, this is the goldfish effect, where if you start to push people away from remembering history, then they're not going to remember something that happened last year or the year before. So the reply to that is, dude, he's had 21 frigging years. You're talking about as if we just started the club now. Paratici been a footballing director for God knows how many years. Conte's been perfecting his art for donkey's years. These players didn't just get born today. They've been in the club for frigging time. They've had many managers over there. Right? It's not like after 21 years, Levy doesn't know how to bloody do his business. He's never sat down and decided to read a book on football. That's why. I'm a fan, he says. The danger is that when people don't do that, when they rubbish the history and they just look at now, then they're able to turn around to us and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're asking for the impossible. You're being unreasonable. Chill out, mate. Don't get so angry. So I think to a certain degree, people like, for example, Ryan over here, right, Ryan McFarland, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. But anyway, that's it. Thank you very much, Dermot.
We'll just get these comments in, and then I'll read this Bill Nick note, because I think he came up some great notes, but this is the peach along the peach. This is the cherry on top of the cake. Right, where are we? I went through to there. We'll start from there because I did all of them there too.
All right, okay, yeah. We're reading these out now. Okay, Paul Brown saying, if streams such as this did not exist, our heritage history would not be known to many, unfortunately. Yeah. Absolutely right. Mr. K was talking about that earlier.
We have a motto on TTG, and Cooper knows this. This is made to fans for the fans. That's our motto. That's our motto on here. By fans, for the fans. It's your history as well as our history, and we think we have to share it with you to show you we are a great club. Tottenham are the best in the land. Just get Levy fecking out, and then we'll be out.
I like to think of it. What sums up what this channel's about? Us getting Steve Perryman on the show is more important than getting any current player.
Yeah,
because he symbolises what was great about this club. He is the living legend. Unfortunately, Sir Bill Nick's not with us now, but his legacy lives on in the likes of Stevie Perryman.
I would have loved if Bill Nick was alive. I would love to get him on this channel if he was alive. Bless it. Yeah. Guguma, thank you so much. Yes, and there is a lot of good YouTubers out there, including Mr. K, David, and Jack. Jack's on tonight at half 5, by the way. We'll tell you more about that quickly in a minute. We've got Dave Harris, Jack Konecki. You have Mari Love Lounge, which I was on for a few minutes the other night. Absolute honour to be on that show. I was on with Mr. K and on with Cooper. Loads more. There's loads more to mention. There's loads of good YouTubers out there. There's a few bad ones, but there is loads of good ones. You've got like Sir Josh, the Tottenham guy, who's doing his little bit of stuff. You have other YouTubers as well, but there was a few there I don't agree with. I'll keep that personally to myself. But there's a few that I think all they care about is subscribers. They don't care about the club, just the subscribers and the money they can make. It shouldn't be about subscribers. It shouldn't be about money. It's about our love for the club, and that's where it should start. That's where it should finish.
So please subscribe.
Please subscribe and like and hit that bell and share.
Oh dear. I had to put that in.
Yeah,
you're
true though. You know, I was trying. We all would love to get to 1,000, but it's the more people can get in, the more we can show our platform, our history. The more we can get the likes of Brian on about the Levy out. The more we can get Mr. K on with his. I mean, he should be Prime Minister. Boris Johnson, if you're watching, move out. Mr. K, you're in. He wouldn't throw a party at number 10. I'll tell you that.
If I did, I'd throw it in the street and I'd invite everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I wonder if Boris Johnson was dancing on the tables. Mind you, the tables might collapse. Hello, we have a guest. It's the boss. Is he going to tell us off?
Oh.
You're right, Phil. Good morning. Oh, he's gone.
Sorry. Well, I was just going to say a quick, I didn't realise you were still streaming. There wasn't anything coming out when I had a look. But hello, Mr. K.
We're just about to finish the show now, but
perfect. Great. How are you? You okay?
Good.
Okay.
You want to quickly wrap things up because you've got an appointment coming up.
Yeah, I have. Quickly.
Yeah. We can chat. We can chat afterwards when we're off the line. Don't worry.
Yeah. Just quickly get these comments through, Kauffee.
Yep. Brian McFarlane saying the cheese room are a disgrace. Yeah. They stoke up fires against the fans and want to protest. They want to protest. Yeah, it's to be fair, it's all subjective. There's some fans are sort of pro Levy and things. It takes all sorts.
I know how Ryan feels. John
Fitzpatrick, Ryan, do you watch the cheese room? Again, saying that reference. Paul Brown saying getting off one seat in anticipation should not be nostalgic, a thing in the past, etc. Just wish to play nowadays with some passion, fight, flair. Absolutely. Ryan McFarlane saying, no, I see enough on Twitter from them. They call anyone out who is Levy out drunken thugs. I just don't like how they are. Not to say someone the Levy out said don't go overboard either. Yeah. There's a lot of
I'm
lot of anger
100%
going
with
around.
Ryan.
Yeah,
I'm 100% with Ryan there.
Just so sick of it all now, says John.
Don't give up, Ryan. Come here. Chill out with us.
Stay here, Brian. We love you.
There's so much Spurs content. There's so much Spurs content that you don't have to go anywhere else. There's so many of us little groups that make you happy, Ryan. Don't worry, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We even attract Hollywood. Tinseltown itself with Phil down the corner. He just brings the Hollywood glamour to this channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, where it's gone. Gooners on
Sunday. Of course, we're going to beat the Gooners. We're going to put them in the bed.
Great stream, lads. Fair play.
Thank you very much, Paul Brown. Very kind of you.
Great stream, says John. Boys, get Mr. K on more. What a legend. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have Mr. K on anytime. I've made Mr. K another honorary Irishman. There you go. He's part of the Irish club now.
Aye.
Love it. Carl Simpson, great stream as usual. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, thank you.
And great stream from Gaguma. Thank you, Gaguma. Always a pleasure to have you on. Sully Richardson, Tommy Talksball, Colin.
He's going through all the list. He's going through all the different lists.
Pastor Show. Loads of channels out there. Do some
loads of good channels out there.
John Fitzpatrick, Dermot, you should get Shan from the Cheese Room on someday. Would be a great crack.
I've actually never watched the Cheese Room. I actually must stop watching it. I've never watched it. I must admit. I'm sorry.
You'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah, I will do.
John Fitzpatrick, 1K is coming. Oh, certainly hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
To go in the same to Phil. John says, if you ever had a bad mood, talk to Mr. K. It would brighten up anyone's day. Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 10 will be calling Mr. K as the new PR man to get Brian Johnson, whatever his name is, out of his problems. Right. Very quickly before we finish, I want to thank Mr. K for coming on. Mr. K, where can everyone find you, sir?
If I'm not here, I'm normally on Will Stewart's THFC Rants channel. Yeah. It's an American channel, North American channel, and I do a show on his channel 11 o'clock on Tuesday night, GMT. That's normally from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And by that time, people want to relax a little bit, so I generally tend to have a little bit of more of a chilled sort of channel. Something not to get you riled up before you go to sleep. Calm you down again. Talk to K. It's called Talk to K. And really what it is, I talk to you guys, and you talk to me. That's the beautiful thing about it. Can't do the show without you.
No,
fantastic.
That is true. Well, Mr. K, it's been an honour to have you on. I just want to finish off on this quote by the great Bill Nicholson. And he says, anyone coming to Spurs, whether he's a big signing or just a ground staff boy, must be dedicated to the game and to the club. He must never be satisfied with his last performance, and he must hate losing. And I think we should end it there on that great quote by our greatest manager that ever walked this planet, Mr. Bill Nicholson. All I'm going to say is thank you everyone for watching. God bless you all, and come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
Love you out.
Go marching in! Oh, when the Spurs go marching!